All right, guys, we're live. Good evening, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank God I got my own. It's the first time I've ever gotten my live going. What's it called? The notification. I had to sit there. I'm out of it, guys. Y'all gonna have to help me do it today and bear with me, man. I am exhausted. But I got my own notification. I've never got a notification that Trucking with Fly Rabbit went live. That's good. All right. I'll let some of these, let me read these few comments and then we'll get into you guys. Of course, that's you, Joan, and I sent you the link. Got Roger Berry in the house. What's going on, Roger? Kevin Snipes. What's going on, Kevin? And Dollar Tree Lawn Chair. What's going on, buddy? I'm glad you guys are here. And we got Ghost Driver. He's in. Now, Ghost Driver, you used to be somebody else, didn't you, Chris? Anyway, guys, we'll do it like we always do. Jonah, go ahead and introduce yourself and kind of give you a little bit of a brief synopsis of your existence.
Yeah, my name is Jonah. I've been driving for going on 21 years. October will be 21 years. And been driving since 2004. Started off with USA Truck. Now I'm here at Hirschbach and been with a couple of companies in between. Been with Swift for a while. I was with Warner. I drove for JB Hunt and drove for owner operator for a little while. And now I'm here at Hirschbach for the last couple months.
Okay. What about you, James? He goes by Techno.
Yep, I'm James. I started in 1996. I went through a lot of companies and took some time off, got back into driving 2020. And I was with Trans Am for a while. They screwed me over, so I come back to Swift. I was at Swift before in 2023, and I made good money there. I just had issues with the lease, and so I got that all taken care of, and got my own truck, and back at Swift.
You got your own truck through Austin at Tampa International Used Truck Centers, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're looking for a truck,
it's a good deal.
If you guys are looking for a truck, Austin is the guy to go to at Tampa International Used Trucks. He can pull internationals from any lot, across the country, as long as it's a used truck sales. And every once in a while, they have other brands. It's not always particular to internationals. That just happens to be their place. There's a ticker running at the bottom for the Road Warrior headset. I'm pretty sure that discount code is still good. You might want to give those guys a call if you're looking for a decent headset. Had a couple guys ask me the other day for that, so I left that ticker up. I'm going to let it run. I've got some news. I've got ES Advantage card people. They're coming. I got my guy Braxton. He's coming on next Thursday, so you guys might want to catch up for that next Thursday. We're doing a live tonight because I am on my way home, and I should be home sometime tomorrow afternoon, and I didn't want to have to do a live at the house. Unfortunately, I tried to get home last week for the holiday, and it just didn't work out, so I ended up staying out over the weekend. And not that it was a great move to stay out. I mean, I didn't make any more money by staying out, but it just made sense to stay out. It's the way it is, I guess. But tried to get Austin in the house tonight. He's a little under the weather, so I'll get him on the show here sometime, hopefully next week. We'll double up on some videos next week. I kind of been letting you guys down with doing some videos, but I've had a lot of things going on with the breakdown. I still don't have the truck back yet. Still really don't have any good, concise answers on what was wrong with it, other than what we talked about. So I'm hoping that I get some news back on the truck, hopefully for the weekend, and maybe next week I can go back up and pick the truck up. That's my goal. But they are machines. I don't think it's going to cost me as much as what I originally said. I put a video out about it yesterday. little short video. I did with that video, I did a little short explanation of the fuel surcharge too, to kind of help a lot of guys out, because I don't think guys are understanding how the fuel surcharge works. So I kind of briefly explained that in a sense. Let's get some of these comments over here. We got No Limits in the house. Good evening. He's driving, but he's listening. We got Justin Burgers in the house. Hello, Justin. Glad to have you over. And as always, I got my wife being the security guard out there that she is, making sure nobody's putting stuff out here. Hopefully, it'll go pretty uneventful tonight. Thank you, baby. You got G80 Sean out here. He's a regular. He comes in and says hi every so often. Glad to have you, G80. Got Jamie Rios. Hello, Jamie. I think you're the same Jamie that's going through the process. How's your process going with Swift, by the way? You got Life on 18 Wheels. What's going on, D? I hope things are well with you. I see you and your boys are doing containers now. What's up with that? I thought you were doing flatbed. I hope that's working out for you guys. Oh, man. Yeah, it's been a crazy week. I've always told you guys that Swift is not the perfect company, and it's not. Once again, fighting my inner demons, and I had to control myself, but I did. I controlled myself very well on Monday, but they ended up taking a load off of me, said that it was impossible delivery, which was total horseshit in colorful words. Jonah, you've been through this before. James, you've been through this before. Why they do this? Because the computer tells them that, hey, this driver, I guess the PTA, which is, your time of arrival or whatever, was screwed up on their end. Not my fault, but screwed up on their end. So I call and take it to I actually talked to the planner, and she wouldn't research or do any calculations with my time like I asked her to. They didn't even call me to take the load off, which really upset me, because they're supposed to give you a phone call. And yes, Swift, I am making a video about this. I'm still upset about it. Not going anywhere. I'm happy with Swift other than these things. And it's always the planners that do this shit. It's never anything to do with the company. It's the planners that think they know everything. And they get a computer that tells them that, that you're not going to make it. And when they get that notification, then they take a load off of you without calling. That's not the right thing to do. They've got memos and everything else that the process they have to go through to call the driver and let them know what's up. Gives the driver a chance to explain it and maybe do the math and show it. Well, anyway, I took it to the next level, and I think I even told you this, Jonah, but I went straight to Sue. She's supposedly I guess she's the supervisor of the area of us on this side of the East Coast, and it was a Pennsylvania planner. I'm not going to mention any names or anything. I'm not putting anybody out there like that. But she sat and did the math and calculated it with me, and I talked to her for 45 minutes. And I give Sue credit. She went to bat for me. Me and her haven't had great conversations in the past, but this time I got to give Sue credit. I really misjudged her about her capabilities and what she did, but she called the regional planner, her boss, and they were going to have a meeting about it on Thursday. Now, again, she even told me, she says, James, you know how it is with companies. Sometimes these things work and sometimes these things don't work. Don't expect anything to change, but at least I'm doing my job. And that was pretty much how she left it. And, that's what you can ask for, it's for to try. So that's where we're at with that. So I lost the load this week because of that, which honestly, it didn't work out better for me, but I did get a better load. Unfortunately, it's not going to make payroll this week. It's going to be payroll for next week because it delivers tomorrow. And that's the part of it that sucks. But the good thing about it is it takes me within about 100 miles of my house, which is, you guys have been here before. Florida loads are really hard to come by, going in and coming out. So I got a load that's literally dropping off 150 miles south of where I live at. It's a two-stopper, but one of the stops is literally an hour away from my house, and the other one is about 2 hours away in West Palm Beach. Hour and a half, actually. But anyway, let's go back up to some of these comments. And again, Guys, it ain't the perfect company. I've never said it was the perfect company, but I deal with the least amount of bullshit over here. You guys just have to understand that even though the planner was wrong, she was doing her job. I give her credit on doing her job, but she still should have called. That's the big thing. Newman Attack says 42 mile per hour for 195 miles. I-90. Yeah, Newman, I end up stopping about just south of Savannah. I didn't want to deal with the traffic. There's a major accident at the state line of Florida. I remember you telling me earlier you're headed to Florida, but there's a real bad accident right at the state line. You might want to stop at Brunswick, just to give you a heads up. And anybody going south on 95, take that warning, because this accident just happened about an hour and a half ago, according to my news. Life on 18 Wheels says he's just being versatile. Okay, good deal. Yeah, the wife just put it out there, bad accident, 95 south of Georgia-Florida line. So keep that in consideration. No company is perfect. None. Buddy, 100% and agree with you. And there's my good buddy, Aquila. How are you? You need to give me a call tomorrow, Aquila. It's been a while. I'll be driving until about lunchtime. Give me a ring. I'd like to catch up with you, see how things are going, Aquila. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Jamie said, I had to take some time away from trucking. I have been back for 3 months now, so I need 6 more months before I can come back over. Okay, I got you. Well, keep me in contact and let me know how things are going if you're still coming over here. I'd be glad to help you out. Gary Cook, good evening, gentlemen. I'm driving through Iowa on my way to Chicago. All right, Gary, good deal. I don't mind going to Chicago. Chicago's an area I don't mind going to. Even in downtown, it doesn't really bother me because I did a lot of deliveries in downtown. You guys have been to Chicago before, right?
Oh, yep. Yeah. I was in Chicago about 2 weeks ago.
It's not that bad in Chicago. Not like New York bad, anyways.
Nah, I'd rather go to Chicago than New York.
Yeah. Shit, I'd rather go to Chicago than Atlanta. Have you ever delivered in downtown Atlanta? Either one? When I say downtown, I mean downtown.
No.
I did deliver inside the loop one time. I did like the southwest side of inside the loop, once, but never downtown.
Buddy, when I did the Target account, there's about 4 or 5 stores that are literally downtown, and let me tell you what, it's challenging when you get to downtown. A lot of tight turns, and you officially you have to go through some of the neighborhoods there too to get some of these deliveries that they have. One of them, and especially, is a very difficult because you got to come into oncoming traffic and back into the you got to hold traffic up to back into the door, and you go underneath. I don't want to call it a sally port, but it's not really a basement, but it's the store itself is on the second floor, and they take everything up on an elevator. Very difficult store. Life on 18 Wheels says, yes, you do. She's awesome. Yeah, she is. She's a good girl. You're talking about Aquila. Justin Burgers, do you have 10-4 truck insurance? No, I do not have 10-4 truck insurance. I have Seabright truck insurance. That's the insurance company that a lot of the guys at Swift have over here. I've never researched 10-4. I know they are a good backup company. I've heard good things about them. Unfortunately, I'm kind of loyal to Seabright because they've done me very well since I've been over here. I have no desire to really look at this moment. Plus, the discounts are good. You got Seabright too, right, James?
Yeah, they give discounts for Swift drivers. So
yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. My contact at
did they have towing? Oh, they got towing on your Don't they got towing with Seabright too? When I think they don't have a towing.
I don't think so. I need to contact her back. And when I first got the policy, I just got something just to make me legal when I first got the truck. But now that things are changing, I think I need to give her a call and see if they have that available. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think when I was watching Contractors Corner, they were saying something about towing or something one time before, but I
now
know
the
exactly
towing. The towing is only for accidents with Seabright. I know that.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's what it is.
It's not for breakdowns.
Okay, that's what it is.
10-4 has insurance for breakdowns. It's not very expensive either. I've got another friend that's got the 10-4 insurance, and he told me about it. So insurance is a big thing, man, and you really got to shop. But like I said, I'm pretty happy with Seabright, to be honest with you. Aquila says she'll call me tomorrow. Good deal, Aquila. Oh, so you're almost to Richmond. Yeah, I was gonna say you're probably not gonna make it to anywhere near where the accident is. Okay. Jamie Rio says he'll keep in contact with me. Yeah, please do, man. I'll help you out with anything that I can. Russell Freight Services, gotta love being leased to a carrier who plans you on 8 loads at a time on a dedicated lane. Yeah, that's awesome. Are you still with Dart? I'm curious. I know you were with Dart before. Ghost Driver said F10-4 insurance, don't do it. Okay. So you don't like them. Is that who you currently have, Ghost Driver? If you do, you might want to call my people at Seabright. They're good people. Very good people. Just came across your channel thinking about SFI lease. What's your opinion on that? I used to be an owner-operator at Landstar. You know what? I'd be more than happy to talk to you about the SFI lease. I've got nothing bad to say about them. Let me put my phone number up. Hazardous waste driver. There's my phone number. Give me a call tomorrow, and I'll give you all the ins and outs about the SFI lease. Really, honestly, there isn't any outs other than the high payment. A lot of guys on here will have other words to say about SFI, but SFI treated me very fairly. I've got no complaints with SFI. And honestly, if I didn't buy my own truck, I probably would have still had the SFI truck. I don't know if I would have brought it over here, but I would have had it. Let's see here where I'm at. Grinding Gears has it. Is that the 10-4 truck insurance? Speaking of Grinding Gears, I noticed that he was doing some other things. I'm not so sure that he's even truck driving anymore. Hang on here a second. We got another guy going to pop in. What's going on, Michael?
Hang on a second.
Well, we're going to read these comments. You do what you got to do.
All
right. Newman Attacks, send the SFI guy my way. Absolutely. We'll do that, buddy. So Hazardous Waste Driver, give me a call tomorrow, and we'll get you situated on that. Russell Freight Services says correct. All right. So is Dart, are they pretty busy? Because I was at Dart years ago, and I never had any issues with Dart. The only problem that I had is the lease truck that I leased with them kept breaking down, and I couldn't make any money because I was always broke down. But other than that, I liked Dart. I absolutely liked them. Hazardous Weight Driver says, okay, thanks. I will call tomorrow. Yeah, call me tomorrow before lunchtime. Somewhere around 12 or so will be the end of my day, and I'm going home. But, yeah, give me a ring. I'll be more than happy to tell you all about it. All right, guys. We're caught up on the comments. Where'd Mike go? Coming back in or what? Now, while we're doing this, I'm going to put a banner up here. Guys, don't forget Austin at the International Truck Center. There's his number. I'll put his banner up for a little while, and then I'll put Michelle's up for a little bit. So any positive stuff this week, either one of you two? Any good loads, anything good that you all had?
Yeah, I got home earlier than I supposed to. Yep.
I had a week off.
Tomorrow, but yeah. Yeah, I ain't supposed to get home till tomorrow, but I got home like earlier today.
Okay. What about you, James?
I had another week off, and then come out. They get you going. Get some money on my check. Even though I work a day or two, I still make a decent amount.
Right.
Yeah, I'm back with y'all now.
Okay. So I got two tickers up. I got Austin Miller down at the bottom, scrolling down at the bottom, and we got Michelle's phone number on there. She's the owner-operator recruiter at Swift. If you would, guys, if you call her, touch base with her and tell her you saw her number on my channel, at least give me some credit out of this if I'm going to be bringing you guys aboard. So The guy below me is one of the guys that I brought in the last couple weeks. We'll get to him in just a second. I'm going to read the 3 comments that popped up. And James is my buddy. We've been back and forth to Swift. He's been there twice. I've been here 4 times, obviously. So that should tell you something. 2 guys with a lot of years. Actually, all of us here has 20 years plus. All 4 of us, right? How many years you been driving, Mike?
27.
Joni, you got 21, right?
Yeah, 21. October be 21.
How many years you got, James?
Yeah. Just under 20.
Yeah, I'm sitting right at about 21, 22 myself. So, guys, that should tell you something. You got, 4 guys in here. Well, Jonah's at Hirschbach, but he's kind of situated where he needs to be right now. But 3 out of the 4 here are at Swift. People always make fun of Swift, but there's a lot of good perks that come with Swift.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what we got.
Oh, yeah.
So, we got a lot of
Yep.
So 18 says SFI is trash. I don't know about that. I don't agree with that at all. Rabbit, I live in Western North Carolina. What would my hiring process be if I wanted to lease? So Tristan, it would be real easy. You'd call Michelle, fill the application out, and if you're in Western North Carolina, there's quite a bit of freight. There's quite a bit of freight coming out of Charlotte. You got Statesville. You got Southern Virginia. You got a whole bunch of stuff there. You're actually in a pretty decent area. Plus, if you're real close to Tennessee, there's a lot of freight in Tennessee too. There on the
you get in Bush's baked beans in Tennessee.
Yeah, you could be on
Yeah.
Bush baked beans. Yep.
I just came from there 2 weeks ago.
So Tristan, give Michelle a call. I put her number up, or I'll put the number in the description also. Give her a call. Tell her I sent you over there, and give me a little bit of credit. And when you get ready to come aboard, give me a call, or you can call me tomorrow if you want to. Be more than happy. So Justin Berger says grind G. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Russell Freight Service. I'm turning 35 to 4,000 miles on the account. What account are you on? Can you talk about it? Ghost Driver. I'll look into it. My insurance is up in like 2 months, so I'll be looking around for better deals. Hey, Ghost Driver, I know you got my number. Give me a call tomorrow, and I'll give you my contact to Seabright. Give her a call. They're very easy to work with. So we got Anime Demon, house pay for owner ops who got their own truck. Well, that's kind of what me and James, the guy on the bottom right side, have. We have our own trucks. The pay is exactly the same. There's just no difference. You just don't have a lease payment. So whatever you're paying on your truck is what you would have, obviously. Your deductions, I'm trying to get some air going here. Your deductions are $17 for the ELD, $50 for an escrow until you get to $3,000, and $8 for the tow pass. They pay all tolls. So about $75, $80 in weekly expenses, and that's it. They pay for plates, they pay for permits, and everything else that goes with it. The only thing that they don't pay for is the $22.90. Newman Tax says, don't listen to 18 about SFI. He spends more time on the couch than driving. Swift denied my application. Thomas, okay. You want to specify, or you want to give me a call tomorrow? Maybe we can look into it. Justin Berger's grinding gears is working at Landstar. Yeah, I know he was working at Landstar, but I saw a video where he was delivering food or something. Maybe he does that on the side. I don't know. He's a good guy. We had him on the show not too long ago. Me and 18 did, and we enjoyed having him on. I got a lot in common with that guy, talking to him. So we got Fidel trucking on. All y'all been driving 20 plus years and nobody owns a truck yet. Well, hey, we just got smart here recently, buddy. We're buying a truck.
Yeah.
How about that? That's all we can say is we're buying a truck.
Yep.
Yeah. Life
Takes a
happens.
while, but yeah, life happens. Sometimes it takes hard heads to really get to it, but we're getting to it. Gary Cook, James, didn't you drive for Advanced Trucking? No, I never drove for Advanced Trucking. Never. I've heard about them. Never really looked into them, and no, I've never driven for them. I can't say who it is, but it has to do with paper products. Okay. I know exactly who you're with now. So it's always heavy shit then. And the Bull of the Woods is there. What's up? What's going on, Bull of the Woods? Glad to have you in as always. He always brings good content. Life on 18 wheels. Hey now, Newman, I make enough to sit on that couch. Well, so. Is any one of y'all doing the MRP?
No.
No. Let me explain the
No.
MRP. The further I and again, I'm not, everybody has their own reasons why they do the leases. The one thing that turned me off with the MRP lease, I just found out about, is the maintenance account goes to the truck. You can't do anything with the money, and when the truck lease is done, it stays with the truck. And again, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with it, but for me, it didn't work that way. With the regular lease, the maintenance money goes with you. You can use it to pay your truck off or do whatever you need to with it. But again, that's just a brief synopsis. Other than that, MRP lease is great if you're looking to buy a truck and get into it quickly. So Anime Demon says, I finished my SFI lease, so I have no payments. Buddy, you'll do just fine over here. I mean, if you have no payments on your truck whatsoever, I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't easily make $3,000 a week here, if not more. I mean, again, you got no payments on anything. When you think that too, James, as long the weeks that you're out and you run.
Oh yeah, with the fuel surcharge and the way they run you, you'll do real good.
That's awesome. So Newman Attack says Titanic hauled more loads than 18's truck. You guys are going at each other, man. All right, so Anime Demon, how's the load board? I'm not going to trash the load board because I actually like it. I think James likes it too. I do about 50-50. But with that being said, the load board is not where it needs to be yet. I think it will be. They're going to a 70% model in September. And I think that's the goal, is they want to go to the 70% model and use the load board to get guys over. That's whatever. If they could get the load board populated enough, I would never even have to have a reason to have a person dispatch me. Man,
Yeah, it's a lot better in the last 3 months. It's been
it has
picking
gotten
up.
better. It has gotten better just in the few weeks that I've been here.
Yeah.
Gary Cook said he's been driving for 30 years. Well, that's a long time, man. I don't know how many more years I got left. My baby says, congratulations, Anime Demon. And 18 says, Newman, I make more while driving less. That's why that's a win in my book. Okay. Everybody has their own goals on what they do, and that's awesome that you can do that. Jonathan De Jesus. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. We got Fran Mariah. She's back. No, that's not true. You just have to keep $3,000 in maintenance in an MRP lease. You spend the rest. That's actually a good number to keep in there. Okay, so maybe I misspoke. So you put $3,000, you get it to $3,000, and after that, you can use the money. Is that correct, Fran? Maybe somebody gave me wrong information. I've never looked into it. 18 went and got serious. He's lame. All right, so Fran says yes. Okay, so you can use the money. I apologize. I misspoke. So in that case, I think the MRP lease would be a great lease for somebody wanting to step into a truck and pay it off pretty quickly. Bull of Woods, explain again Swift's fuel discounts. Swift has 0 fuel discounts. They give you 5 cents. It doesn't matter where you pump at. It could be Mom and Poppy's fuel station, or it could be Love's. 5 cents. But that being said, you get a fuel surcharge. This week it's 40 cents. And if you calculate, I'm spending between 37 and maybe 41, 42 cents a mile. It just depends on terrain, all the above. But that's what you make on the fuel surcharge. So basically it's getting paid for. But there is no fuel discount to answer your question. I know it sucks. All right, calm down. It's not that serious, okay? How hard is it to stay in Vernon, Texas? Where exactly is Vernon, Texas without me looking it up?
I want to say that's off 30, ain't it?
I don't know. It depends on what part of Texas. Is it east, west? I mean, Trucker Todd, he had issues getting home sometimes because he lives in Lubbock, which is in the west, kind of the northwestern part of Texas. So Roger says, I've been driving for 40 years last month. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I turned 62 in September, trying to go till I'm 65. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I mean, it's such an easy of a job. I don't know how long I really want to go. That's the problem. So Fran says it's actually a good lease. It's like a full maintenance lease. It's best to lease a new truck and then put it on the, and that's kind of what I suggested to a lot of guys. Do a short-term lease, order a new truck, buy the new truck, and then after the 4 years, put it in the MRP and pay it off. That's kind of what my thinking was. Bull of the Woods gives me thumbs up. Yep, that's it in a nutshell, how it works. And yeah. Fidel says, what's the pay for owner-operator Swift? And I will move over there or at Landstar. Fidel, quit trolling. I know that's what you're doing. You're not coming over here. I meant to run Texas. You can run Texas all day long. No issues, no problems. There's a lot of freight.
There's a lot of Fort Worth and Dallas freight.
Houston. San Antonio,
Houston.
Laredo. I mean, all that stuff is on the load board. There's usually at least 10 or so loads a day on the Texas load board. Life on 18 Wheels has his eyes. Yeah, he ain't moving anywhere. You know that. Trucker's Paradise in Dallas, Texas truck stop. And wife saying, congratulations, Roger. Heck of a career. Much respect for all you drivers. Absolutely. We're caught up with wow, there's a good 32 minutes of comments there. So, Mike, let's get to you. We did the other two guys. Give me a brief synopsis. Give me a brief synopsis of what you've done in your career other than truck driving, and then work your way up to truck driving.
Well, I pretty much started truck driving as soon as I turned 21. Grew up around them. Started out in the moving industry before I got a CDL, and once I got my CDL, I went into the freight, and I've done freight. I've done reefer, containers, oversized flatbed. But yeah, I pretty much spent my life in trucking one way or the other.
Yeah, I got to turn some AC on. It's actually starting to get hot. Oh, man. I didn't think it was that hot. This trailer that I have has an air leak, and every time I turn it off, it's got to build air up. I got to get it looked at. It ain't happening before I go home, I'll tell you that. So Fidel says, actually, let me go back to where Arizona and Cali's hot right now. I haven't even really looked into that. I might look into that, maybe do something with it. So you say you're not trolling. It's a real question. Well, you get $1.15. Well, it's a sliding scale, $1.15 to $1.35, depending on the miles. The lower the miles, the higher the rate. The higher the miles, the lower the rate, basically. So that's your minimum thing, and then you get your fuel surcharge. This week it's 40 cents. You don't pay for anything, though. You don't pay for plates. You don't pay for permits.
I'll be back with y'all in a minute.
All right. The only thing you guys pay is $17 for the ELD and $8 for tow pass and a $50 escrow that pays off until you get to 3,000. I hope that helps, Fidel, but I know you're never coming over here. They had 41 loads. They had 41 loads out of Arizona today. Is that right? Let me look and see what Arizona has now. Curious. Interesting. Did you guys look at the load board today? Or did you, James?
No, not today.
41 loads. Wow. I might have to do some
Actually, I did, but I was looking at the Ohio and came up to New York. I don't usually come up this far, but.
Well, I try to stay out of New York.
Give me a second, guys. Here, I'm just seeing what they got.
I got one going down to Georgia.
Arizona has 0 right now. There's 2 in Cali, but 0 in Arizona. Yeah, she said they're all gone now. Yeah, I just looked. They are all gone.
Hmm.
Huh. I have to keep an eye on that area. I mean, that might be. Yeah, I agree with you. That's any load board. You got to constantly check. They go very fast. That's running any load board, really. Oh man, guys, I am absolutely beat. My arm actually feels better. It's still a little sore, but it does feel about 90% better, maybe 95. But I got to tell you, man, these international trucks. I think I talked to you about this, James, but I really didn't really think about it until I got into this 24 that's a loaner truck. It rides rough. I mean, my truck rides better than this truck, and honestly, I got to get the shocks and everything replaced in my truck because I don't know when or if they've ever been replaced. I thought my truck rode rough, but this one, man, about ready to beat me to death. My body parts feel like they're going to fall off from riding around in this damn thing.
Yeah.
They probably never took it back and had it tightened up when they bought it.
Man, I don't know.
They bought it brand new. You're supposed to take them back after a while and get them tightened up and everything.
She said they were all good loads too, all over 2,000 miles. I'll have to look into that, Fran. I'll keep an eye on that. Thanks for the heads up on that. So Newman says use the other arm. I have been using the other arm. So right before my truck broke down, and again, my truck is an older truck. It's a 2019. There's no big secret. My armrest on the right side fell off, so I got to get it fixed when I get my truck back. I can't not have a armrest. Might have to put a different seat in. 3 pages, wow, of loads, huh? That's crazy. So Justin says it's hot in Colorado. Is it hot temperature or is it hot with loads? Which way are you talking?
Mm-hmm. They do have a lot of loads coming out of or going into Colorado.
Yeah, 34 people in here. Anybody got any comments on anything? It was kind of a weird week for me. Like I said, it was just a holiday weekend. Not a lot going on. I tried to make the best out of it. If I would have hadn't kept that load, I would have been somewhere around 2,300 miles. But since it went away, I didn't get it. But this load that I'm on now gives me a 900-mile head start into the week because I'm going home. So hopefully next week will be it'll help me going home. Newman Attack says my first truck, an R model Mac, didn't have an armrest or AC. Yeah, that's R model. Is that the one that was in the Road Warrior, Mad Max Road Warrior, or maybe even the Rubber Duck? Is that the R model, I believe? Justin says it's 100 degrees. Wow. Anime Demon says, I just want to be in Houston every weekend. I mean, honestly, that might be possible if you could find you a little route that goes from like Houston to Jacksonville and back and forth, or a triangle, maybe Houston to Jacksonville, up to maybe Indianapolis and then back down to Houston. I mean, something like that. If you can find you a triangle, that might be very possible, Anime Demon.
Or you might check into the dedicated.
Yeah. I know they got a dedicated Target down there somewhere around Houston, because I know when it stormed here about a year ago, a lot of the Target dedicated out of Florida was making those loads. It was basically a 2-day trip.
They got Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart they got that Walmart up there in, out of Houston with it, Korean or whatever.
That's Utah.
No, that's Utah. But they got one up there north of Houston a little bit. It's a Walmart that I don't know if Swift pull out of it though, but I know they pull out of Walmart that off 35 up there. It's another one they pull out of up there. But they come down to that Walmart too.
So Fran says Colorado always got a lot of loads, but they mostly heavy loads. I don't want those. Okay. Yeah, Mike back.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I had to get in a dock.
P.U. Patel. James, are you actually using the ES Advantage card or just promoting it for now? I'm actually using it. I don't use it as much as I want to, but, just like everything, unfortunately, I've had a lot of breakdowns in the last couple of weeks, and it's prevented me to really use it tremendously because I don't know if you know about the card, but the card you got to pre-fund it. It takes like 5 days for the funding to get in there. So it's a little inconvenient, but once you get things situated, you got the cash flow. The ES Advantage card is a great thing to use, but I do use it. I use it quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, I use it constantly.
Yeah, I haven't started using mine yet. I'm waiting on the funds to hit.
These guys are more richer than I am. One guy has a brand new truck, and the other guy has a truck that's a lot newer than mine too. So they what's his name? Newman's had an old Mack truck that looks just like the one from the Road Warrior. What does the MPDs, does the T680s get? My T680, again, mine was a 23. It's been a year ago. Man, I was getting 10 miles a gallon plus, with light loads. And when I get to closer to the 45,000 pound loads, you can't really haul a 45,000 pound load with that truck either because it's a lot heavier. So you're looking at about 42, 43 max on that one. And I was still getting in the high 8s, low 9s with that truck. I thought that was pretty damn good for a truck. Anime Demon. So how do you get on the Walmart account out of Houston? So basically when you get on here, I think you have to do 30 days OTR, and then you can just call the placement people and ask to be switched over. If they got room for you, they'll bring you aboard. Most of these accounts like Walmart, Target, and all these, they always have pretty much always have room because people come in and go, come and go quite a bit. Brant probably knows a lot more about it than I do. Better off with the dedicated because those Transmix drivers got Texas on lock. Okay.
Shit, they ain't staying it. They're not staying in Texas.
Well, that's what she's saying. She's telling the guy to get on a dedicated account because Transmix is getting a lot of Laredo loads.
Oh, okay.
That's what she's trying to say. So
Ghost Driver, I ran into a Transmix the other day up in Wisconsin.
Ghost Driver says Los Lunas, Mexico.
They're all over the place.
Contract for you guys. Okay, there's one. I don't know how far Los Lunas is. Well, that's if you're from Houston, that's still at least 1,000 miles away, I would imagine, isn't it?
Yes, I'm there. Hey, I went off the 35. I can't remember the little town it's in, but it's up off 35 that Swift pull out of. Cause I was on the camp for like a little while.
Ottawa, Kansas.
Now this was in Texas. The Walmart that was on in Texas.
I got you.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ottawa. I was just there this morning. I don't know if Swift pulls out of that one.
Now this was in Texas, just north of Austin.
They actually have a. They have a.
Name.
Yeah, they have a Sam's up there too. What's it, Gardner?
Yeah.
I took one out of there before I went home.
P.U. Patel says, just curious to see how much you were saving each week. So when you use it like you're supposed to, when I was using it before like you're supposed to, it just depends on how many miles you run. It's anywhere between, $200 and $500 to say. When you're running higher miles, closer to 3,000, you're going to save $400 or $500 a week on that card because of the discounts.
Yeah.
Now, and again, that's been a few years ago. I haven't used it enough this go around back at Swift. Let's put it that way.
I'll fund my card every other week.
Yeah.
And when the funds get on there, they just
honestly,
use it all the time.
Honestly, PU Patel, the ES Advantage card, it's only a benefit here at Swift because they don't have the discounts. When I was at JB Hunt's discounts were deeper. F2F's discounts were deeper. So the other companies I was at, it didn't make sense to use the ES Advantage. And most of the time, even the Schneider's discounts, it just depends. I used it a few times at Schneider, but not very often. But now that I'm back at Swift, my plan is to get back on it, though. But you can save some money. And that's the thing with Swift. If you can control your fuel and get your costs down on your fuel, you can make some serious cash over here, especially if you own your own truck. Gary says, does Swift go into California? Absolutely. They go to every state.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying that the freight is awesome. And what I've come to find out through my years here is the West Coast freight usually is for the West Coast guys and vice versa. The East Coast freight is for the East Coast. Brand can probably clarify too. So yours was purple. Well, I know it was purple. I'm just saying it was the same style Mac. He sent me a picture of it. Anime Demon, how are Swift's truck shops? Well, right now my truck is in the shop, and I'll let you know here in a week or two how well they do. I will tell you that it's $80 an hour for labor, so they're about half price of what other shops are. But I've used Swift shops a couple times. I've got no complaints with them.
My biggest complaint for the size company they are would be their hours.
Yeah, they got some funky hours. They work like 6 to 3 in the afternoon, and then they go home.
Yeah,
and then on weekends, they don't. Most of them don't even have a terminal that's even open on a weekend. If they do, they're only open to like 11 or 12 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, I would have always thought a company the size of Swift would have 24-hour shops.
So let me tell you a little story that really surprised me. A couple things. Planners at nighttime, they only have maybe 20 to 30 planners working for the whole company. You guys know that because they don't have a lot of things going on at nighttime. And sometimes when you call breakdown, it might take you 30, 40 minutes to get a hold of somebody on breakdown. And also, I keep getting the messages on this truck. So when they gave me this truck, it needs every service done to it, an A, a B, and also inspection. This truck sat in the yard for who knows how long when it could have been done at the terminal. But they're wanting me to take it to a terminal. So every day I'm getting these messages, and they're putting me on hold. And, I'm probably saying stuff here that I shouldn't. But anyway, there's 2 women in the company that take care of the services on these trucks. 2 women. You guys know that? Just 2 people. And they only work Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. 2 people out of 17,000 trucks. And I'm talking company and company-owned trucks is what I'm talking about. That's crazy to me. Any used Volvos for lease purchase? There's always Volvos for lease purchase. They're not going to be the brand new ones, obviously, but yes.
No.
Fran Mariah, no, he can get on those accounts as soon as he gets here if they have. Okay, so you don't have to wait 30 days. That's even better. Swift has Temple, Texas, Walmart. Okay, Temple, Texas.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Temple. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Is it Sanger, Texas? That Walmart DC? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That one. Is it okay?
Yeah, I think it's Sanger. I think U.S. Express out of that one.
Okay, so Ghost Driver says about 900 miles from Houston. I'm heading there now to Los Lunas. Okay, I figured it was close to 1,000. I didn't know exactly. I've driven that highway many a times. Those Transmex are all over the place now. They used to only go to Laredo. Now they, and every day. I don't know why. Why are they even coming into the United States with that stuff? I thought we had to switch them out at the border.
Yeah, I thought he was taking them to the terminal. I seen them all the way in Pennsylvania.
Last 4 years. Yeah, last 4 years they can do what they want.
Yeah. But now this new law on the English speaking stuff and everything, that might end up changing it.
I don't know. They still have Temple, Texas. Fran Mariah, California is good. You can definitely stay in California and run. A lot of owner-operators do that. Huh, okay. I'll have to look into some California stuff. They used to have a shop open at night, but it's cheaper to pay a mobile repair than a W-2, so they're saving money. Utah's open late. Yeah, Memphis is open late, too, and another terminal is open late.
Dallas is open late.
Phoenix is probably open late, too, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think Memphis is only open till 6, so I don't really call that late.
Charlie Reyes
Dallas is open till like 11.
Can I lease a truck with Swift and bring it to the company I drive for? No. Let me rephrase that. Yes, you can. There's a lot of stipulations to that. First of all, you're going to have to work here for some time before you can able to, they call it port the truck out. You can port the truck out. It's very costly. Don't quote me on the money, but it's usually like 10 grand down that you got to put as a security deposit. And then you got to have a lot of money in your maintenance account. Again, I don't know all the details, but it's hard to do. Let's just put it that way. They do not like doing it. Yes, we do. Yes, we don't have Sanger. Okay, so you don't have Sanger. There's a loophole in the law, so they can go everywhere, but they have to get back, so that's why it's hard to get to Texas. Okay. That's for the Transmex guys.
Yeah.
The new trade agreement Trump signed in his first term allows Mexican and Canadian companies to stay longer when they were distance and route restricted before. Okay. So this is an easy question. How long is owner ops orientation? 0. You sign the drive, you sign your lease, and they say, have a good day. They don't even buy you lunch or dinner or anything. You go back to
an hour.
Yeah,
maybe.
you sign that lease, and as fast as you can get your crap in the truck.
Yeah, it depends on how long. Yeah, the answer to that question is how long does it take you to read the lease? That's about what, 40 pages? That's your orientation to read the lease.
Yeah.
Darian Mallard, do you think it's possible for anyone thinking about applying for a truck through SFI make money at Swift? No, I've actually talked about that in the past. I'm not saying you can't, because there's always going to be somebody out there that can do it. But that would be a tough nut to fill, because you're basically paying twice as much of what a lease would cost at Swift. $700 compared to $1,200, $1,300. Can you do it? Sure, anybody can do anything, but do you really want to? I think it would make it very difficult for you to make any money, and I think it would make it very difficult for you to even go home. Because when you got an SFI truck, when I was at Schneider, the goal was always gross about $5,000 to $5,500, and that way I was guaranteed to get a $2,000, $2,500 paycheck. Here, your gross is going to be like $4,000 to $4,500, and if you have a lease truck, you'll bring home about $2,000 to $2,500. Same thing. So your gross is going to be a lot less, and that's where your difference in your money is. Now, obviously, the insurance and a lot of other things are going to be discounted a little bit differently in your fuel, but that's kind of how it works out. But I would not bring an SFI truck to Swift. You can, but I don't know. And then what's SFI going to need for their down payment to transport the truck? That's the other big thing. $20,000 to take a lease truck somewhere else, plus the company you take it to has to be approved by Swift. So there you go. There's the official answer. That's kind of what I was getting at. I thought it was $10,000 down and $10,000 in your maintenance account. I think that's what it is. And Fran's laughing about it. Yeah, I agree. I think you're better off taking that $20,000 and going to Lone Mountain and getting you a truck if you want something brand new. And that's always an option too, guys. Lone Mountain. Anime says, I'll be bringing my own truck. You need to. Your truck's paid off. You'll make a ton of money over here, Anime Dude. Do me a favor. Make sure when you call Michelle, use my name and stuff, buddy. Let's get some credit going here. If you need to call me and talk to me, feel free to give me a call tomorrow. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Hey, no problem, Darian. Not a problem at all, buddy. Well, we got into some recruiting stuff tonight. I didn't really do a show for recruiting tonight, but I'd be more than happy to help anybody out. I just kind of wanted to have a get together tonight. But I've got a lot of plans coming up for you guys that missed it. I'll go through it here in just a second. No, you can gross $4,000 with the lease, but you're going to work for that money. Yep, you are going to work for that money. That is true. So I got a lot of things coming up in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, I tried to get Austin on the show tonight. He was a little bit under the weather. He'll come in. We'll do a special show next week, so make sure you check all my posts. Probably Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. I won't do it on Tuesday because Charlie and Jeff have their show, but Monday or Wednesday I'll do a show with Austin, and then I got ES Advantage guys coming on Thursday on the live, and then we'll bring Michelle back in, probably the week after that. Yeah, Damon, make sure you, or Darian, make sure you give me a call. I'll be more than happy to put you in touch with Michelle, and we'll get you rolling if you're ready to roll. All right, you guys have any comments? We're kind of at a standstill here with comments. Got 40 people.
When they call Michelle, tell them they're a Clemson fan. She'll give you a truck quicker.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
She might hang up on you.
Guys, don't listen. Yeah, don't listen to Jonah, because you'll hurt your chances at the very beginning. She'll set you up with a remember the old AMC Pacer cars? Remember the Pacers?
Yeah.
She'll set you up with a Pacer truck, or Yugo. How about a Yugo? Anybody remember the
If you
Yugos?
if you go in there and tell a Clemson fan, she gonna
Oh,
first thing
yeah.
gonna pop up is my name.
That's funny because she'll call you every name in the book if you start talking Clemson to her.
Yeah, I get put out of office every time I used to get put out of office every time I go there.
So she's a South Carolina fan, and to me the what not logo but the mascot, the Gamecock. It was always kind of a weird name to me, a Gamecock. So do you guys know? I forgot who told me this, but any of you guys know what the Gamecock is?
Nope.
Chicken rooster.
Nobody knows. So a Gamecock is either a rooster or a chicken, I guess, like you said. But they use them for fighting, and that's what they're called, Gamecocks. They use them specifically for fighting. Get back. So Darian says, all right, I will. Here, Darian, let me put my number up real quick. Give me a ring. There's my phone number. We'll leave it up there a couple minutes. Give me a ring, and like I said, I'll help you every way I can, and I'll kind of give you my secrets on what I do over here. There we go. Let's see where am I at. Newman Attacks says illegal immigration discussed. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let me read this last comment and we'll go into that discussion. Anime Demon. So my orientation is just me signing my lease with my truck. Yes, sir. Now you're bringing your own truck. You do have to have an inspection done. It's either within the last, I think it's either the 30 or 60 days, one of the two. I think it's 30 days. I could be wrong. Might be 60, but you got to have a current inspection on your truck. Other than that, that's it, dude. One other thing too, what year is your current truck? Let's make sure your truck even qualify, because there's only one qualification, actually two. What year is your truck, first off? So illegal immigration discussed. What do you want to talk about, Newman, about illegal immigration? Now, let me ask this, and I can ask you three guys along with everybody in the comments. Is anybody actually seeing any enforcement being done? Because I got to tell you guys, I'm not bragging by any means, but I haven't run across the scales in maybe 4 weeks. I mean, seriously. And I know I do a lot of nighttime driving, but I mean, I've not seen any action at any scale, even in the daytime. Nothing. Have you guys seen it?
Nope. I was in Georgia, saw a couple trucks put over in Georgia like last week. But other than that, I ain't really seen too much in that.
Yeah, I hadn't seen
3
much.
months ago. 3 months ago, I seen a lot, but nothing. I haven't seen nothing lately. So
okay. Mike, you see anything?
No, not really. To me, during that last DOT blitz is when they should have been doing it, but they were worried about other things.
Yeah. That last DOT blitz was a joke. I mean, and again, I'm glad it was a joke. Don't get me wrong, but they hyped it up for no reason.
Oh, yeah, they always do, really.
yeah.
I mean, you got certain states that work them hard, but most of them, hell, most of them nowadays work them either the week before the blitz or the week after, because they don't want you to be expecting it.
So, and that's the other thing that I was going to say. Just like the Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA, why would they announce, hey, we're going to go to this address this day? And same thing with that, and they do these multiple DUI checkpoints and stuff. Why? And again, I know some people still fall for it, and I get it, and I understand it, but to me, it never, even being a cop, it never made sense. It just, all it did was create overtime for the officers. And granted, I mean, that was fun and dandy, but it never really produced anything, maybe 1 or 2 DUIs. It really, to me, was a waste of time. So Newman said he's poking the bear. I get it. We're all poking the bear. You're poking more than a bear, I can tell you that. Anime Demon 2021 Freightliner that's the first thing. Has to be a 2018 or newer truck, and does it have the collision mitigation in the front of the truck? Those are the only 2 stipulations on your truck, as long as it passes inspection. Hopefully, you got that collision mitigation. I'm sure you do in a 2020 Freightliner or 21.
It depends how they ordered it. If they ordered it without it, they can still get it without it.
Well, he's got an SFI truck, so I'm going to guarantee.
Okay. Okay.
An old SFI truck. I'm pretty sure that they have it. Fran Mariah, especially Schneider being the safety company. Fran Mariah, they've been pulling over people on I-70, but I don't know what for. Okay, I haven't
When
been on I-70 in a while. Is that
I
Indiana?
haven't, yeah, I haven't been by
Across
the scale
Kansas.
since. Yeah, I haven't been by the scale since this went into implement, but the one there on 70 uh, west of Effingham, Illinois, they were waiting for it to start. They were ready.
Hmm.
And because I got caught in there about 18 days before it went in effect. And yeah, they had a couple foreigners in there right then that couldn't speak English. And when we were talking and they wasn't in there, they couldn't wait for that 18 days to get up because they said it would be automatic out of service if they came in there any way that them two guys came in there because without a translator they couldn't talk to them.
Newman Attack says nobody takes DOT or highway cops seriously anymore. They're basically road pirates, and they don't police the real issues. I do somewhat agree with you on that. Just law enforcement in general. I think my wife, if she's still in here, she could probably agree to it. These younger cops that come out, they are lazy. They don't want to get involved in anything. And granted, I can't say that I really don't blame them too much because of the way the world is. They don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. And our world has become a different place than what it was just 4 or 5 years ago. I wouldn't want to be a cop anymore. My buddy Mike was seriously thinking about going back to the highway patrol. The guy that drove with us for a while, got an SFI truck, got out of it, got a local job. He thought very seriously about going back into it, but I think he's changed his mind about it. Fran Mariah, I seen it in Oklahoma and Colorado. Well, Oklahoma's always been a high enforcement state. Oklahoma and Indiana are probably Arkansas. Those are probably the three most enforcement states there are. And Florida, too, for the most part. Florida's pretty good. Fran Mariah says, off US 287. Okay. So, I got to tell you, I found that you guys are probably going to laugh at me when I tell you this, and I know Newman's told me about this before, but I found me a cut through when you're up around like Hagerstown, Maryland, or if you're in Pennsylvania or something like that, and you're trying to get down on the eastern side instead of going down I-95, there's a cut through. I forget what the highway is. Newman will have to come on here and talk about it, but it takes you all the way into Fredericksburg, and you dodge.
Highway 17.
That's it. You dodge
17.
Yeah, 17. Yeah.
Dodge 17, man. I did it this weekend. Man, what a difference that was. Never done that before. I took 66 over to 17 and then down. Man, what a difference. Newman says, I would have sympathy if they weren't focusing on nonsense while allowing a dumpster fire to roll past the scale. Well, we're talking about DOT cops here. That's a whole different story. Yes, I agree with you. I don't know how some of these trucks, and with me living in South Florida, or Central Florida more or less, all these trucks that come up from Miami, and Newman, I know you're on your way down to Florida too. James, you've been there. All of us have been to Florida. Some of those trucks that are down there in the Miami area, I don't know how they get away with some of the stuff that they do. I mean, they got duct tape holding their bumpers up and, missing, this and that and bumpers and headlights. Sometimes even headlights are missing. I don't know how.
I've seen missing
you should have
fenders.
seen the trucks. You should have seen the trucks in Laredo about 20 years ago. Hell, they had rags for fuel caps.
Oh my gosh, man. So Newman said
like that.
522 to 17. Yeah, I didn't take 522. I took 60. I think it was 66 over to 17 is what I ended up doing. I'll have to look into that 522.
Yeah, 522 pretty good too. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're coming from like, Pennsylvania or whatever.
Yeah, that's where I was at.
Yeah.
Anybody got any comments? Kind of caught up on everything. What do y'all want to talk about tonight? Any of you three guys that have any comments y'all want to talk about? You have any good weeks? Anything good, positive to talk about? Any negative to talk about? I mean, I had some negative shit I talked about at the beginning. I was pretty adamant about.
Yeah.
More
Everything's
good than
been
bad.
pretty good this week.
What'd you say, James?
More good than bad.
Yeah.
It's been pretty decent.
Swift is pretty much plug and play. As long as you can get the planners to keep you moving, and hopefully this load board gets better. This load board gets better, as far as I'm concerned, they can fire all the planners. Seriously. If this load board gets to where it needs to be, they can fire all the planners, and we don't even need them. We can do this shit ourselves. And honestly, I could care less about the empty miles. I mean, it's fine and dandy if it's big, and obviously, but if the load board ever gets where it's at, then you shouldn't have to drive any more than 100 miles empty to begin with to find a load. You know, if they would set this up, like, here's the thing, and I mean this wholeheartedly. I absolutely loved Schneider. I would have stayed at Schneider if it wouldn't have been for two things. The bullshit with the PC. I hated how they did that, and I was always right, and they even told me that I was right. And then the second thing was just the safety and the load board. The load board, I mean, you had the deadhead 200-300 miles to get to the next one, so they were starting to disappear. But if Swift could get that load board up and going, where drivers can just strictly live off the load board, it would be and also, I mean, there would be really no, I mean, you wouldn't have to deal with the planners. That has always been my complaint with Swift, is the planners when they start taking loads off of you, or something stupid like that. That's the only issue I've ever had here. Don't you guys agree? I mean, I know you don't, Mike, because you don't know a whole lot, but what about you, James?
It'll be real interesting to see. They're supposed to pack that load board by September, or do something by September. So hopefully they are on it.
Fran says, I would not come over with an SFI truck. That truck is too expensive for Swift. There will be times when you're not moving. Absolutely. I agree with you 1,000%. Anime Demon says, how's the reefer? Also has a load board now. I don't think the reefer has a load board yet. Everything is dry van on the load board. And honestly, I can't comment on the reefer side. I did find out from another driver that we can pull reefer freight too, especially with me, like going home into Florida. There's a lot of freight going into Florida, but I have not exercised that yet to see. I might do that next time. Not a big reefer guy to begin with. I don't like sitting.
Yeah.
What's up, Mac T?
Yeah, you do a lot of sitting with reefer, boy.
Glad to have you here, Mac T.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Hunky Dory. Just listening, seems like Midwest is getting busier for reefer, produce, flatbed good for Southeast and Southwest, Ford everywhere else. You know, again, guys, I mean, my thing is I try to stay within, just imagine basically Chicago, you know, down to Houston over to Jacksonville up to Pennsylvania, and then back over to Chicago. That is the box area that I try to stay within. If you stay in that area, those areas, I mean, you will have freight. I mean, that's just, I don't really go outside that box. I can't really speak much about outside that box, nor do I want to go outside that box. It just makes it more difficult to get home if you want to go home every couple of weeks. That's one of the reasons. You can live off the load board, but you have to study it and know where the freight is. You can plan yourself. Yeah, I'm noticing that too. I had, and that's one of the loads that I lost. I had a real nice triangle that I had set up, going from Macon, Georgia, over to Augusta, Georgia, up to Indianapolis, back down to Macon, Georgia, and then down into Florida. I had that nice little triangle set up, and it's basically a run that would give me about 2,500 miles and would keep me rolling. And the freight comes out of those places, it seemed like almost every day, if not every day. So Fran says that reefer has a load board. They got their own, from what I hear. I don't know for sure. Yeah, I don't know that for sure either. I haven't really looked into it or checked it out. From my experience, reefer at Swift seem to be by region. Like if you pick a reefer load up in Georgia, don't take it to Texas. Try to stay east. Huh. Interesting. I know zero about the reefer at Swift. And it's funny because I know one of the head dogs that does sales for reefer in Swift. Not called him, but I do know him. So here's my boy Blue. Me and this guy have been friends for years. I actually, that's not him. Blue Smoke. One of my friends just quit over the holiday weekend. He was leasing a low mileage 760 through Swift, and all of his payments were around 1,000 weekly. His problem was the load board, or was the loads that he was being offered. Yeah, you got to be real picky. I thought that was somebody else. You got to be real picky with your loads. You got to deny that. Like for me, I don't take anything that's under, like 400, 450 miles. To me, it's a waste because you're not going to have the miles at the end of the week. And honestly, I try to get 600 to 700 mile loads or even more is what I try to do. No, Gary, Swift does not require hazmat, so you're good on that. You don't have to do that. Army Kane, what's up, buddy? Glad to have you. Glad you're back. Evening from Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Glad to
He
have
right
you.
on the corner from me.
Yep. As the SFI payments per week went down. I don't think they'll ever go down, to be honest with you, because the only thing is the trucks are going more expensive every year. Matter of fact, I think they're doing the opposite. I think they're going up. And quite frankly, guys, I think the trucking market's about ready to take a big boom. I've been saying that. And where are we at? We are now in the third quarter. I've been saying from the beginning of the year, I think the third quarter is going to be the big boom. And I think we're right on the precipice of it, where it's going to start picking up third and fourth quarter. And I think these truck prices are just going to keep going up and up and up. For you guys that are waiting around to do something, it doesn't matter which company you go to. If you wait around too long, those truck prices are going to go up to where it was a few years ago where they were so damn expensive. Even Swift raised their prices. Anime Demon says, I like running from Houston to Phoenix and back to Houston. That might not be a bad route. You probably wouldn't have a problem doing that. Maybe Fran can answer that. But I would imagine there's freight doing that. There was no strategy or rhyme or reason. The planner was just throwing loads at home willy-nilly. Yeah, like I said just a few minutes ago, if Swift was to get this load board up and going where you can just strictly load board loads, they could fire all the planners as far as I'm concerned. I mean, there's a few of them that I talk to on a regular basis. I wouldn't want them to fire them, obviously, for their jobs, but most of them are useless, in my opinion. And I think Jonah and James and maybe even you, Mike, can agree to that now.
Yeah.
All right, so No Limit says there's a YouTuber who has a 2025 Freightliner who claims he pays $900 a week. That's probably with his insurance and everything. That's probably a correct statement. $900 to $1,000 a week. His payment itself is probably like $650, but if he has Swift's insurance, it's probably pushing it up there.
Yeah, because I've got a 2026, and mine is $680, and I mean I got it brand new. That's just the truck.
Have you looked at your insurance, see how much it is?
Yeah, the insurance, all the insurances together. I'm trying to remember what I told you that just yesterday. I think it was like 240, 250, something like that, with all of it added together.
Okay. Let me get back to these comments here. Did Jonah go to high school in Columbia? If so, which school? I went to high school in Columbia. I lived close to Fort Jackson.
Yeah, I went to Spring Valley.
All right, guys, we're doing a little reminiscing here. Oh, man.
Now, if he stayed near Fort Jackson, either he went to Spring Valley or Richland Northeast. One of the two.
So, Army King says, son's graduation, Army Basic tomorrow, so I'm in a hotel. We'll watch the rest of the replay when I head out. Be safe. Hey, you too, Army King. Thanks for coming in, man. And appreciate it. I really do. Glad you come in. Brand says, you have to know your numbers. The planners do not know how much you need to make, so you can't just take anything they throw you. It makes sense for you. Absolutely. You cannot take just whatever they get you. You got to know what you guys need to make. I calculate every week, and I know what I need to make. I don't always get to where I need to make, but I sure target that and shoot for it. That's my plan. Yeah, you shouldn't have a problem going from Houston to Phoenix and back. Yeah, I agree. And the wife is giving kudos to Army Kane here, and I agree. Congrats with your son, Army Kane. Proud dad, stay well. Absolutely. So proud. You got to be proud of your kids. Speaking of being proud, I am a grandfather for the first time as of July 7th. My son had a baby girl that was, I think, 5 pounds, 6 ounces. Him and his wife had
Right
their first.
on.
Never been a grandfather. I'll be 50. I'll be 55 next month, and first time grandfather.
Yep. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Fran says, yes, that's pretty good. Arizona, Houston is a good lane. Yeah, I would run that all the time if I lived somewhere around in that area. So Fran is saying something here. I don't use the planners hardly anymore. I'd love to get to that position to where I don't use the planners at all. Like I said, I would run strictly off the load board. I'd love to know your secrets, Fran, if you're willing to give them up.
Yeah, because hell, tomorrow will only be the second load I'm taking off the load board because I've got one set up for tomorrow.
Anime Demon, oh, that's great. Then I'll probably be heading my way over to Swift. Yeah, I don't think, again, I don't run that lane, but I don't see any issues or problems why that wouldn't be an easy lane to run. I think it would be pretty easy to get to Arizona. It might be, well, you know what? I think it would probably be easier to get back, honestly. But who knows? I've not really looked at it that hard, but I think you would be okay with that. We have a lot of freight that goes in both of those cities. No limit. For the SFI truck, not for Swift. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think their prices are going to go up. SFI is going to go up. Their trucks are getting more expensive. I don't know if you guys know this, but that new Volvo is like 15% more, even as a base model, than it was last year's. That's how much that Volvo went up with all the technology and everything that it has in it. And with Volvo doing that, it's just a matter of time before Kenworth and Freightliner and the others start raising their prices too.
Yeah, and something I heard about that new Volvo, if you're driving it around a yard, you better not go over 9 miles an hour unless you got your seatbelt on because it's going to lock the brakes up.
Yeah, I heard that too. I think you told me that.
Yeah.
So Mike says he went to RNE, Jonah.
Oh yeah, that's my rival.
Maybe you two need to contact each other. So that's like Clemson and South Carolina then. Mike T says, I'm bitter. I started at Spring Valley and had to transfer to RNE.
Oh man, that sucks.
Mr. Hunky Dory says, Fort Jackson, home of the Big Red Hill. Pray it does not rain if you get to run it up and down. Arizona has heavy loads to Texas. Okay, so there you go, Anime. Make sure you contact me, Anime. Fran says, I'll help you out as much as I can, Anime, and I'll put you in contact with people that can help you. Fran Mariah, I put myself in these areas where the freight is so that I can plan myself. I got you. And speaking of that too, Anime, please call me first before you call any recruiters, because once you get stuck with a recruiter, you are stuck with that recruiter for life, and I can't help you after that. I want Michelle to get you and help you out. Mac T says, last time I was there, I saw a lot of Swift trucks pulling copper out of Miami, Arizona to Dallas. My planner had gave me one due to no reefer loads out of Phoenix. I want to look into that lane. Miami, Arizona. I never knew there was a Miami, Arizona. Huh. I'll Mac T, if you remind me, I'll look into that. I got a planner that I can call out of Memphis. I'll see if that's she doesn't come in until Sunday. Why don't you, Mac T, why don't you remind me next week when I do a live, and I'll get in touch with her, and we'll find out the answer to that. She's not working again until Sunday. And I'm going home too, so. Juggalo, the new Volvo has electric. Yep, that's one of the reasons why I said, Nope, I don't want a new Volvo. It's got all kinds of electrical issues. So just so you guys know, Volvo, and it's not just Volvo, it's all the manufacturers. They all have their own issues. But Volvo, and again, I've talked about this in another live. Ford Motor Company has the same issue too. back when I was in my 20s, one of the jobs that I always wanted to do, I wanted to work on the production line in Louisville, where I lived. They had two factories there. They had then they had the excursions and the super duties built at one plant on the east end of town, and then towards the central part of the town, they were building. At the time, they were building Ranger pickups, but now they build the Escapes, and I forget what other vehicle they build there. But anyway, they were paying good money. I mean, you could make six figures at Ford, 25, 30 years ago. Now they're hiring guys in, that are a lot younger, obviously 21 to 30, and they're barely paying them like $17 or $18 an hour just to start. Whereas back then they were paying $21 to $22 an hour. With overtime and everything else you could easily make six figures there. And they don't let anybody work overtime. It's only 40 hours and you're done. So you're lucky to make 40, 50 grand. Well, with that being said, these kids that are making these cars and these trucks, they're not making any money, and they just don't care when they put shit together. And then they have shutdowns because of the tariffs and everything else that we talk about. Start causing problems, electrical issues because they're not putting parts on right. They're rushing shit down the assembly line. They're trying to rush to get that truck out. And another thing too for you guys, that new Volvo's only been out about 6 months now. You remember when that truck first came out, you'd only see one about every 2 or 3 days. Now you see 100 of them in one day. How did they get that truck so populated in 6 months? I mean, think about that for a second. How did they get that truck so populated in 6 months?
Super ego
together.
They're pushing They're pushing them out. Super Ego's buying them by the thousand. But let me get back to some of these comments. I've got a bunch. Ryan says, plus I think they know I like to plan myself, so they just put everything. They think I will take it up the load board. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to work the load board a lot more heavier soon. Yes, Miami's the Texas loads out of Arizona, unless you pull Amazon. They're light, but they cancel a lot. I've not had an Amazon load yet, nor one even offered me yet. I did all their bullshit that they wanted, their relay shit, which I was already part of their relay anyways from doing it before, but not. I've not got offered one. Yeah, Mac T. Yeah, just remind me next week. My number's up here all the time. If you want to give me a ring, I'll give her a call. She's a midnight person, comes in at 6 p.m., but she's Sunday through Wednesday. But remind me, and I'll get in touch with her. Gary Cook says, whoops. Gary Cook, does Swift have APU on the trucks?
No,
they do not have APUs, but they have the automatic stop-start stuff on the Freightliners. This International has it. The KWs have it, and the Volvos have it. Now, the new Volvos, the 26 and newers, have the EPU on them. That's already built in the truck. It's a factory standard thing now. I got a feeling since Swift is getting those, and it's actually a factory standard now, maybe in the future they'll order all the trucks with EPUs. That's what they should do. But again, that's just me talking. I don't know that for sure. That would be smart if they did. EPUs are great to have.
Oh yeah, I got it on my truck.
Yeah. Well, you got an APU, don't you?
Yeah, I got an EPU, the electric one.
Oh, do you really?
My truck is 24.
I thought they had APUs on Hirschbox.
Yeah. Them the older trucks. If you see one with APUs on it, them the older trucks.
I got you. So A-Bear, she's new. I am in CDO school now with Swift. 2 weeks to go, and I am in Waco, Georgia. Good to have you, A-Bear. I try to do a show usually on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. I did it on Wednesday because I'm on my way home, and I don't want to do a show at home tomorrow. Next week, I'm going to have a couple shows next week. Just keep an eye on my posts, and you can be a part of the group. And honestly, it's nice to have a female listening in. If that's your picture and that's you. Mr. Hunky Dory, do you guys have a retirement plan included for the needed cost of operation per mile? No one ever talks about it. We ain't spring chickens anymore. I really don't, but I have a goal. Let's put it that way. I've got about another couple years, and then that's going to be a big concentration here in the next 2 years. We all have goals. You just got to make them happen. Mr. Hunky Dory, Gary Cook, I hope so. APU to me is a must anymore. Yes. Now, if you want to buy an APU, you can obviously have one put on as long as you get permission from Swift. But no, they don't come with APUs. I don't. I don't. Yeah, I wish they did. So Fran Mariah is cracking me up. Retirement are for wimps. I don't do retirement. Yeah, I'm not. My wife's laughing at her. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever be able to retire, but A Bear, awesome. Yeah, we're glad to have you over, A Bear. I guess I'm titling my lives right then, and people from everywhere in Swift are finally looking me up. Blue Smoke, can you communicate one-on-one with the planner and put a plan together on how you want to run, or you just receive load offerings? A little bit of both.
Yeah,
They keep they have notes on you, and when I say that, any planner can go into my truck and they can see how I like to run. They know to never offer me anything that goes to New York, New Jersey, or California. Which the California thing I might look at changing maybe in the future, but they know not to offer me those loads because I'll turn them down. So they do kind of, I think they do kind of keep notes on you, but and you can call the planners to talk to them and say, hey, I like that load, but that one just doesn't work for me. I'm trying to get home. Like I had since last week where I was trying to get home before the truck broke down, and that's so weird. His electrical cord is wrapped around all the way around his trailer, dude. I wonder if he even knows that. Maybe he took a turn too tight or something. Geez, some of the things you see sometimes. But yeah, to answer your question, you can call the planner. I do it quite a bit, actually. Dan Isaac, buddy, I am so sorry what happened to you, buddy. Feel free to give me a call and maybe I can help you out. I don't know. Did you look into the other places I told you about? I feel so bad for you, bud. Amazon, we got a lot from Arizona to Tennessee and Arkansas. Okay, I'll have to look into some of that Amazon stuff. Thank you all. I will subscribe and be back. Yeah, please do. Hey Bear, be nice to have you subscribe. Fran Mariah says hi, A Bear. No Limit says I pay $1,200 a week for 5 years in my lease, and my truck is a 2201. I think I'll look into SFI. Okay. If you're going to look into SFI, man, give me a call and I'll put you with somebody that has an SFI truck, and maybe we can get a little credit out of that for him, and he can help you out, possibly. I don't like to get an APU that doesn't last long when I'm playing games. Okay. I got to tell you, the EPU I had on my SFI truck on cooler nights, I mean, I could go 8 to 10 hours without it starting up. And if it's hot, 3 to 4 hours. I actually like the EPU. But
yeah, cause mine start up maybe twice a night. Like, depends on where I'm at. Sometimes anywhere from sometimes it started like once, and then sometimes like 2 to 3 times a night, depends on where I'm at.
So here, Fran just made a good comment. You don't need an APU. We have OptiIdle, way better than APU, no maintenance to deal with. Absolutely correct. And even with that, the EPU, there's hardly any maintenance with an EPU. Now, granted, it does go out. It's a machine just like anything. But APUs sometimes are a hassle. Mike King says, I'm 29. By the time it's time for me to retire, I'll probably have to dust before I get to my retirement. That's funny.
Yeah, see, I haven't gotten used to the OptiIdle yet because, hell, it just seems like it, and maybe it's just the temperatures I've been in. It seems like it cranks up, turns off way too much. And I can't sleep if it's constant. Yeah.
It's because it's hot. So the wife says, hey, A Bear, thanks for subscribing to the Rabbit family. Yes, we appreciate it. Fran Mariah says hi to Colt Stewart. And hey, Fran, makes me smile seeing our female warrior drivers. Absolutely. And Mr. Hunky Dory, a lot of Amazon loads coming out of Wesley Chapel, Florida. Very busy. Coming into Wesley Chapel. Huh. I did not know that. Are you with Swift, Mr. Hunky Dory? And Fran is all right, we're caught up on the comments. All right, guys. Anything anybody else wants to talk about? We got 30 people in here. We had like 52 at one time. It's been a pretty good live tonight. Sometimes when I get guys like you guys on here, just have basic lives like this, sometimes they end up being the best lives. But you don't beat the lives with Michelle, I'll tell you that. The ones with Michelle, a lot of people. A-Bear says, hello, and thank you for making me feel welcome. The class is full of females. Hey, A-Bear, why don't you tell all your classmates to go and subscribe to my channel tomorrow, because I do put out a lot of stuff, and if you have any desire to switch over to the owner-operator division, you can do that, I think, after 6 months, if I'm not mistaken.
9
months. 9.
Okay. Well, you really need to come over here and do it on this side, because that's where the real money begins. Put your 9 months in, and then come over here, and then we can help you guys out to get to the right person to get you going. Just heads up, it's all pro bono, because we don't get paid to bring you guys over to the other side, because you're already working for Swift. But I'd be more than happy to help you guys out. But tell your guys in the class to like my channel, subscribe. Fran says it's turning off too much, and you need to get batteries checked. It does sometimes not come on. I was just turning my air fryer and will crank up. So this truck is brand new. I think it's just the heat.
Yeah, it'll just come on and run for a few minutes, turn off, and then a few minutes later it's cranking back up. I think it's because of the temperatures.
So A-Bear says, I sure will. Yes, I talked to them about that option. Now, like I said, make sure you tell your people to subscribe. Mac T says, I was going to say trucks are going up. I couldn't reach a deal with Austin, but I still got a truck elsewhere, just waiting for my current company to stop stalling my departure to pick up. Okay, Mac T, are you looking at coming over here to Swift, or are you going elsewhere? So A-Bear says, I want to own. Yeah, we all want to own. That's the goal. And you're not going to make any money.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah, very big difference. Anime Demon said, I know that used to off the idle in the summertime, you have to keep the comfort off. So I think he's saying the opti idle in the summertime, you have to keep the comfort off. Okay.
Oh,
You must be using that talk to text. On-off mode, it stays on for 45 minutes, and it will stay on if it's very hot outside. Okay. Anime Demon, in the AC, will just keep running until you turn off the AC. Okay. Freightliners are a little bit different than the other trucks. Yeah, that's a battery problem. One of the cells could be low. Okay. Maybe you might want to get them to test your batteries and see if it's a bad battery.
yeah.
You haven't had that truck. I mean, again, it's a warranty issue at that point, but
Yeah.
you're still way within your 30 days. When you go to a shop, and you probably do it in Love, see if they'll test your batteries and see if they're good. Tell them you got a brand new truck and you think you might have a bad cell. They might test it for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if it's one bad, you might as well get all four on.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have batteries in the back of yours, do you?
Yeah, I got batteries in the back of mine. I got 4 batteries in the back.
I'm talking to Mike.
Oh, no, mine's underneath the step.
Yeah, but if you have an EPU, your batteries are going to be in the back.
Oh, no, I don't have the EPU.
Oh.
No.
I didn't think so. So I'm coming back to Swift. I drove for them on the company side and owner-operator side. Just want the familiarity. I just don't want to run their trucks. Yeah, I agree, Mac T. I agree 1,000%. That's one of the reasons why I came back.
Yep.
Their loaner truck program was a big part of my decision. Yeah, well, not only the loaner truck program, but you also have the shops and everything else. And speaking of which, Mac T, it don't cost you anything. Have you already talked to Cantrell or a recruiter? Put me down as your referral, will you? No go to Swift. Okay, you don't want him to come to Swift? Are you joking? Fran, I don't mean to delete your comment about the APU. I put my phone in my pocket and somehow it must have hit accident. Okay. She didn't mean to delete you. So you're saying no go at Swift because of the APU. I got you. That's what you mean. To test batteries or do anything, they guarantee their work, Loves, and then we'll blow your engine out.
Oh, go to Swift instead of Love's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mr. Hunky Dory says, no, I live near the Amazon distribution plant, former driver, 12-year-old TR, 9709, Mediterranean Shipping Company, per diem biller. You see our containers quite often. Okay. I got you. Dan Isaac says, I'm going to call them again tomorrow to see if I can see if I can convince them. You talking about Swift? I'll talk to Addison to see. I haven't signed my contract yet. Just wanted to finish my 2 weeks notice. Yeah, just tell Addison to put me on the referral. In the comments, you'll see my driver code and everything, or in the description, you'll have that, because that'll help me out. And if you need help with me, obviously you've been here before, you know how to do everything. But if you got questions, you can always call me. But it'd be nice to have a referral. Dan Isaacs, yes. Okay, so you're gonna try and convince him. Maybe you can. I mean, I don't know. I hope that you can. I'd love to have you here. You're gonna call Michelle, I'm assuming. No problem, Nicole Stewart. I think I deleted a comment on the last video by mistake. I was going to edit. Okay. All right. Tell you what, I was absolutely wore out and beat when we first started this earlier, but I am wide awake now, and I don't need to be wide awake because I need to go back to bed when we're done, because I got to drive after 12:30 tonight. I'm headed home, boys. Dan says, well, I will call her to find out who to talk to. I don't really know who you would talk to in that, honestly. That's you're the first person that I've ever had that's had this happen. I don't want to go into a whole lot of details about your personal stuff here, but I don't know. It's nothing that he did bad or anything, but what we got here? A Bear says, so when I come available to Lease, y'all will help me out with some information on what to do, the best way to go about it. I hope. Absolutely, A Bear.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to throw my phone number up here. If you want to give me a ring tomorrow, I'll be more than happy to help you out. But make sure you tell all your guys in class to subscribe to my channel. If you want to call me, I'll give you a heads up on how to do everything and how to make it work. But unfortunately, you're going to have to wait the 9 months. In some cases, they will bring you earlier if you don't have any instances. But one thing that I really kind of want to go over with you is I want to go over the camera thing with you, because the camera thing is going to be the most important thing for you as a company driver. I want to make sure you understand how that camera shit works, because if you get a lot of camera instances, here they'll terminate our contract, but they will fire you. But I would like to go over that camera stuff with you. If you're available, give me a ring, and I'll be more than happy to go over that with you and make sure you have it right.
Hey, guys, I just got a green light at the dock, so I need to get on off here. Y'all have a good night.
All right, Mike. Have a good one, brother.
Man.
All right.
Bye.
Later.
Later.
All right. Yeah, A-Bear, please give me a ring. I'd be more than happy to discuss that, because I think you coming in as a new driver like that, I don't know how they talk to you guys about that, but I'm going to be real deal with you about that camera. I don't agree with their camera system. And this new camera system, I'm not really familiar with either. I know it's AI driven, and I don't like that. Anime, how long can I be home before they start calling? I don't know what you're asking me. If you're asking how long can you be
home time, I guess.
Yeah, if you're talking about home time, they'll never fucking call you.
No, you put in a PTA, your time available, and then they'll get in contact with you. Then you can because I've been taking 5 to 6 days off every time I go home.
Yeah, when you go home, it's
and you
your
can
home
change
time.
it.
They don't bother you at all.
Yeah.
So A-Bear says nothing about cameras yet, but I'm not so sure they'll even talk about the cameras other than just tell you that they have them. I want to make sure you understand how the system works, because it's a point system. That's what
Yeah.
what you need to know, and you can relay it to the other people in the class too. What's the average net after truck lease payment and insurance? So I'm assuming if you're talking about it, okay, you did say truck lease. It's real easy math. You do 4,000, 4,500 gross. You're going to bring home $1,800 to $2,500, depending on how much fuel you get, where you buy your fuel at, whether you're in the mountains, whether you're in straight land. There's a lot of factors that go on that, but if you're running 4,000 to 4,500, dollars a gross, 4,000 to 4,500 gross, you should be bringing home 1,800 to 2,500. No problems. I mean, the math's pretty easy with Swift. That's one of the reasons why I like it here. So Anime Demon, because I'm in the winter, I like to fly over to Japan and Thailand. So that's a good thing, because I've got another driver. I wish that he was on here. He actually lives in, I think, Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken. He actually lives in Vietnam. He'll work 6 months and go home for a month. The only thing that I'm aware of, and again, this is all a negotiation, Anime. The only thing that I'm aware of, they want you to do one load a month. But if you do that and you tell them, hey, look, I take a month or 2 months or whatever, just make sure they know that before you sign the contract. You can negotiate that in. Just let them know. Zonar is history. We do not have Zonar. We have Geotab now, which Geotab I think is 1,000 times better than Zonar was. And I loved Zonar. But I like Geotab a lot better. Yeah, I'm going to bed too. Good night, everyone. Hey, Fran, great to have you. We appreciate you coming in.
Yep.
Hey, Bear, roommate said they just fired a guy last week from camera incident. He just graduated last week. So, yes, please, any help. Yeah, like I said, call me tomorrow. I'll be driving to around lunchtime. I'll be more than happy to help you out. You can call me after lunchtime, too, if you want. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Robert Green, not bad. Yes, sir. Pew Patel, wasn't Jonah going to Swift also? So, Jonah, you can tell your own story, buddy.
Yeah, I'm planning on going to Swift. I just have to wait a little while before I go back, because I had a little incident with Swift like back in December. But yeah, I'm going back to Swift.
So I think PU's asked me that question before, but I've refused to tell anybody's personal business. I just said that you had some personal things that you had to deal with. Didn't go into a whole lot of details about it.
Yeah. We had a couple little things, issues with Swift, and I'm going back.
So Big Cam asked the big question: do they put cameras in owner-operator trucks? So yes and no. So to answer that question in a nutshell, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted A-Bear to call me so I can set her up the right way. Cameras. If you take Swift's insurance, you're getting a camera, whether you like it or not. If you get your own personal truck insurance, like me and James has, you do not have to have the camera. I strongly suggest you guys, if you're getting to that position and you're wanting to come over, again, I can't stress to you guys enough. Call me before you call a recruiter. Let me explain everything to you, how to make this work, because there's so many loops that you can go around and not have to get all this crap put in your truck. I want to be able to explain everything over the phone. And I say everything on this YouTube every time that we have a topic about this, but it's always a repeat. But I want to make sure everybody has the right information. So please call. A-Bear says, I will be in class all day, but soon. Thank you for the help. A-Bear, you can call me anytime you want to. Anytime tomorrow. It don't matter. I'll be up. Mike T says, salute to your reefer truckers. I'm done with reefer. LOL. Not dropping hook. I'm good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have no desire to do reefer. The only reefer that I did at Swift is when I worked the Target dedicated account. The only reason I did that, when you pulled into a door at the Target, whoever was in that door had to move because we had Target freight and it needed to get off the truck immediately so we could hit the other stores. So they didn't have a choice. We never sat with Target. Hey, A-Bear, no problem. Just give me a ring. I'll be more than happy to explain everything to you. And same thing with you too, Big Cam. If you want to give me a ring, I'll be more than happy to help you out too. Because getting your own insurance, and believe it or not, the insurance is actually cheaper if you get it on your own than it is with Swift. They talk about heavy discounts with insurance. That's not true. I'm always going to tell you guys to get your own insurance. And quite frankly, I'm always going to tell you guys to get your own trucks too. Use my guy Austin. Get your own truck. Don't waste your time getting a lease truck. You're going to make a whole lot more money if you own your own truck.
Yeah.
Whole lot more money. And I got to tell you guys too, I was totally wrong. I had everybody tell me I was stupid for looking into leasing a truck. Well, you know what? I was stupid for even thinking about it because me being in this loaner truck, it's cost me $570 a week, just like I leased a truck. So I'm paying on 2 trucks right now. I'm not happy with that, but I'll be glad when my truck's done so I can get right back into my truck. But what it did is it made me realize that I had the best deal going on by owning my own truck. Even with the repairs that I've had to do, I've still saved money more than what I would have with the lease truck, even making the small repairs that I've had to make along the way. And even buying tires here in the next couple weeks, I'm still better off than having a lease truck. A-Bear says, I was thinking about going with reefer. A-Bear, I don't know if reefer's a good idea. You need to go dry van. There's more freight with dry van. Not saying that Swift wouldn't be a great deal. Well, first of all, what part of the country do you live at? Reefer's not good everywhere for Swift.
If you stay in the Atlanta area, it's kind of okay with reefer because it's based out of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't know.
But you get a lot of you get a lot of dropping hooks with the dry freight,
dry van.
and you keep moving.
So Mike T said, look into the craft account if you do. Okay. And also, like I said, the Target, but it all depends on where she lives at. What's up? Hey, Mark, what's going on, buddy? How are you? I'm glad you're in. A-Bear says, okay, so she's in Georgia. Okay. So, again, you're in Georgia. That Target account would be absolutely perfect for you. The only thing is, I don't know if you could get on it being a solo driver. That would be the only thing.
Or Costco.
Just like Dan Isaac says, you sit a lot with reefer. Absolutely. The craft account is great on the East Coast, absolutely, and it's all drop and hook. So, A-Bear, I know you're new to this. The key is drop and hook. And when you do dry van, and I don't know if you know what that actually means. Basically, you go from one customer, pick up a loaded trailer, drop that loaded trailer at the next customer, pick up an empty trailer, and just wash, rinse, and repeat. Keep doing that. By doing that, it keeps you rolling. If you do reefer, 99% of the time with reefer, other than some accounts, you're going to be waiting for them to unload that trailer, which could take anywhere from an hour to 24 hours. It just depends. You might be sitting for more than a day. I had a live unload with a dry van load, 13 hours. It was uncalled for. Now, granted, you get paid for your downtime and stuff, but it's nowhere near what you would make as driving. So think hard about that reefer stuff because you'll have a lot of downtime unless you get into a good account. I would think that Target account would be great, but you have to be a team to do that account or you have to train. How much is the tires at Swift? Well, I put a drive tire on just a couple weeks ago. It was an $800 tire. I paid $387 for it, so a little bit more than 50%, like 55, 56% off. And that's just the drive tire. I haven't really checked into steers. Steers is going to be my next project. Whoops, let me go back one here. A-Bear, ouch. Absolutely. You do not want to sit. You do not. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I want to tell you all the ins and outs about everything on how to pick stuff because you're fresh and I can give you all this information at the beginning and you won't make any mistakes that a lot of us have made, along the way. Right, Jonah? James?
Oh, yeah.
You won't make those same mistakes that we made. I promise you.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a real deal. Go ahead, Jonah.
I started to do it for 5.5 hours today, getting unloaded at Walmart.
Yep. 4 to 5 hours loading and unloading.
I was at 5 hours getting unloaded. Got there at 5 and left at 11.
Dan said he sat for 38 hours before with a reefer. I don't know. I mean, I can't even remember. It's been so long since I did reefer. I was only in it a short time. Sure, well, thank you all. No problem, A-Bear. Matt T says, yes, there's a craft count in Atlanta, just a few hours, east one in Newberry. You'll go there 5 to 6 times, same facilities, just like moving craft freight from warehouse to warehouse like a shuttle driver. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Sean Fairman's in the house, just joined in, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Nice to have you, Sean. We appreciate it. A-Bear says, you're going to be my new best friend. Okay, A-Bear. Yeah, we'll be more than happy to help you guys out.
Yeah, we'll help out.
We'll give all your guys, that way you can report back to everybody in your recruiting class, and they'll be like, where are you getting your information from about our company? Well, I'll give you everything. I'll give you the good, the bad, and the ugly with everything with Swift. All your people. But I think it's bi-weekly home time. Not sure what you're looking for on home time. So, A-Bear, that's something for you to consider, too, bi-weekly home time. With you being a company driver, you're going to have to put your home time request in early. And I don't know what you're planning on, how much home time you're looking for, or what your situation is. But remember that. That's what we need. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
God, I can't believe we went almost 2 hours.
Yep.
Anybody got you three guys got anything to say? She wants to stay on the road. She doesn't want to go home. Well, that's a good thing then if you want to be a truck driver, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just stay on the road. She can learn a lot by being on the road for a long period of time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, so like I said, guys, next week I'm going to try and get Austin probably Monday or Wednesday on the channel. Thursday I'll have the ES Advantage fuel card guys on. I will have a link for you guys to get the ES Advantage card. I strongly suggest you guys get it. There's a lot of advantages that comes to it, and I'll let Braxton talk about it next week. Absolutely, Mac T. Just like he says, get all the mistakes out sooner. I wish that I would have had somebody give me all the secrets at the very beginning. I would have saved a lot of money, and I can help all your people in that class save money, especially when they come to the owner-operator side. I can keep you from keeping your job, too, because these cameras, people laugh and joke about them, but they're serious. I actually got a call from my DM on this lease camera. I had to remind him. I said, hey, it might be a loaner truck, but guess what? I pay my own insurance. You can't look at my shit. You can't coach me. I have my own truck. So, Anime Demon, he says, I have the ES Advantage card. In my opinion, and I've looked at a lot of them now, this has been a few years since I really got heavy into it. But to my knowledge, I think the ES Advantage card was the absolute best, and I think it still is out of all of them with discounts. I could be wrong, but again, just like my Seabright insurance, the people are great. The people at ES Advantage are great, and I really have no reason to shop to go elsewhere. I'm happy with the discounts that I get. I'm happy with the rate that I get at Seabright. I think James is too, and I think you're happy with your ES Advantage card. So you start getting loyalty to some of these brands. And guys, I'm not getting paid to bring these guys aboard on this channel. Nobody's paying me to do any of this stuff. I'm doing it because I want you guys to save as much money as you possibly can too. Now, I'm not saying that the paid part of it might not happen in the future, but getting started, I'm doing this voluntarily because I want to get those things out there. I've not asked for anybody to pay me any money. With ES Advantage card, the only thing that I get is I get a credit on my card. I think it's $25. They credit my card for everybody that signs up. That's it. Again, that's just the one thing. And my guy at International, he sends me a gift card, and it's very small too. I'm not getting rich by bringing these people on, nor did I ask for those things. Those are just generosity things that they send back to me. And James gets the same things too when he sends in, and Jonah. It's not like we're getting rich on these things. I just want you guys to have advantage to these things and be able to use them to save money for your business. So Mac T says, so if you bring your own truck, you still have to run one load a month because I probably wasn't going to be working this December. Like I said, it's all a negotiation. If you tell them ahead of time what your plans are, I don't think they're going to have a problem with it. And again, that's a good question. I don't know that answer. But again, it's all a negotiation. The guy that I talked about in Vietnam, He goes home for 3 months, and he negotiated that when he came over, and they were okay with it. So as long as he's making that truck payment, they're okay with it. And I don't know how he afforded it or how he did it. It's none of my business, but he arranged it, and he's been home several times. All right, I think I put that one down. There's Michelle's contact information. Looks like somebody tried to call me. Okay. Hang on here a second, guys. You guys got anything to talk about?
Not at the moment.
All right. Let's go back to the comments. Where was I at? Matt T says maybe he's gambling. Yeah, I had to check my scores, buddy. I come from a gambling family, by the way. My dad was a professional gambler. He was very good at it, too. I don't want to go into a whole lot of details. I might incriminate him. But he's deceased. It wouldn't matter anyways. But, yeah, I come from a gambling family. I'm very familiar how to play the shit very well. When I play, I'm actually pretty good. But I don't play. I just never done it. Mr. Hunkadori, questions for new drivers. Best GPS for truck drivers, cheap fuel apps. I never use one, only Rand McNally paperback. Personally, I like the Garmin. And again, it's all personal preference on that. I've always had a Garmin. I'm familiar with it. I bought a Rand McNally when they first came out with those real nice ones. Took it back in 2 days and said, I want my Garmin back. And I bought a Garmin instead. I've just always been a Garmin guy. Cheap fuel apps. Number one is Fuel Book. That one's just an app to see where the cheap fuel is. There's also Mud Flap. I'm not a big Mud Flap guy. I've never had any luck with it. There are guys out there that like it. Once again, I'm not getting paid by any of these companies to say that. ES Advantage, they have their own app to look for fuel. And the Rand McNally paperback, I think everybody should have one in their truck. I got one in mine, and I always have. Not that I'll ever look into it anymore, but it does come helpful for a lot of other things. You guys have a Rand?
You'll want the Quick Trip app.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, the Quick Trip?
Yeah, Quick Trip app. Yeah.
I noticed their prices have gone up.
Yeah. What was you going to say, Jonah?
No, I still look at my my Atlas every now and then.
Yeah, I pull mine out every so often. I hope that helps, Mr. Hunkadori.
Yeah, Random McNally pretty good. I like Random McNally. I mean, that's the GPS I use. They're pretty decent.
So, what you just said there, Hunky Dory, is probably one of the best things you can do is eat on your truck as much as you possibly can. My problem with eating on the truck is right now I've got issues with my my inverter. It likes to kick things off. That's going to be one of the first things that I fix when my truck comes back. That I don't think it's going to be an expensive fix, but I'm probably going to have to buy another inverter to make it work. But the more you eat on the truck, the better off you're going to be, and the more money you're going to save. Because these places, especially the truck stops, they will gouge you for every penny that you can. When I go and I stop at the evenings, I try to find me a sit-down restaurant. Whether it's in the truck stop, like the Iron Skillet. I like going to the Iron Skillet. I like going to Waffle House. I like doing the usual, and I also like going to steakhouses. I like going to Texas Roadhouse and Lone Star and Chili's. I'll go to Buffalo Wild Wings, and sometimes you can find those places that are easy to get into. And quite frankly, where I run at, I know the cities that I can go to. If I'm going through one of those cities, I'll try to visit one of those if I'm able and get in, no problem. But yeah, the more you can eat on the truck, the better off you're going to be. Yeah. So Dan has to say,
I might have an inverter for you.
Huh?
I said I might have a power inverter for you.
Really? What you got?
I got a 1500 watt power inverter, brand new.
Buddy, I would blow a 1,500 watt inverter up. I've got a 4,500 in the truck right now. Yeah, I'm probably going to update and get that Cummins 5000 is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I've got an air fryer, man. It takes like 2,500 or 3,000 by itself.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, that $1,500 watt one would barely power my TV and speaker bar.
Hey. Yeah.
So Dan says he has a Garmin diesel. That's the exact one that I have too. I'm happy with it, and mine's like 5 years old. So I want to add for the new drivers, don't let the rude drivers discourage you, the ones that are just always in the back. Absolutely. And same thing with trolls. And that goes for the trolls that come on the channels. That is absolutely true. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't make it. And A-Bear, that's, yeah, she said thanks, Mac. A-Bear, one thing that you and the new guys, don't let these old timers tell you all how to do stuff. Do what you think is right and do how you want to run your truck. You have to, and you're going to make mistakes along the way. It's going to happen. The only mistake you don't want to make is to bump another, truck or, cause an accident. As long as you can keep it between the lines and drive like you got some sense, I'm telling you, it's a very rewardable career, and you will be just fine. Just don't listen to the negative.
Yeah,
because
you'll learn how you want to run your business.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it.
These old timers that have been doing this for a long time, and you're going to have your people in there that are going to make fun of Swift. Swift, and again, I can honestly say this because I've been at many different companies. Swift by far is a superior company compared to the rest. You can make money here. Don't ever let anybody tell you you can't. You're not going to be a millionaire by any means, but you will always make consistent money. And she says, thanks, Mac. We have high hopes to live the American dream. You can. Just takes a little bit of time. After a year, you can pretty much write your ticket for just about anything. But quite frankly, I would stay right here. Don't waste your time going to other companies because where you're at is the best place to be, in my opinion. Sit down is the way to go. When I started out, I got carried away with the iron. Yeah, absolutely. Iron Skillet, and what was the other restaurant that was in the TAs and Petros? I know out west you got the
Country Pride or something like
Country
that.
Pride. That's it. Country Pride. Yeah. Man. I'm a Waffle House. I'm sorry to use a bad word, but I love the Waffle House. That's my favorite place to go to. Absolutely love it. Matter of fact, there's one right over here that I probably have to visit in the morning to get me some breakfast. But the Chicago Oasis is also a place I get carried away. They got a Panda, a Mickey D, sombrero, you name it. I got to tell you, I had sombrero the other day in Pennsylvania at one of the turnpike stops, and I wasn't impressed. I used to love sombrero pizza, but it's garbage. I mean, it really is. There's so much better pizza that's out there. I got to tell you guys, for fast food type pizza, nobody can beat Marco's. Have you guys ever had Marco's?
Yeah. I like Godfather's better.
Now, see, you talking about the Godfathers in the truck stops?
Yeah, their pizza's pretty decent.
Oh, it's garbage, man. It is garbage compared to that. So A-Bear says,
I guess I got it fresh made. That's why.
Yeah. I don't know. Now, Wichita had a Godfathers on the south end there, James. I don't know if you've ever had it. The Godfathers there is just like the original. It's like the original Godfathers back in the 80s, buddy. It was good.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much different.
I like the Nola's. Nola's is the pizza to get now.
Never heard of that one. So Rig Pig says, will Swift also train drivers? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was a trainer for a long time. I just don't want to do it again. Yeah, Huddle House is good too. Sometimes you get IHOP. Yeah, there's IHOP has to be hot though. Waffle House is the GOAT. Buddy Newman, don't even get me started on Waffle House, man. I love their waffles. I don't know, they put crack in their waffles or something, man. They have the absolute best waffles. Call them crack waffles. Good to hear that. So many put down Swift. I am not a job hopper, so I'm planning on staying. Yeah, you commit to Swift, it'll pay off in the long run. I promise you. They've got a lot of benefits too, especially as a company driver. There's some benefits that you can get as an owner operator also.
Yep.
Mr. Hunky Dory, yes, Rick Pig. Mac T, on their pizza is garbage. I only get their pasta. You talking about Godfather, or you talking about Marcos? Marcos is the bomb, says Dan. 100%. Here's everybody's agreeing with me. Marcos is the best. Pilot pizza is bread with a little sauce and grease. Garbage. I agree with you. And they comment that it's a hand twisted fucking crust too, and it's garbage. Absolutely garbage pizza, man. Mr. Hunkadory, thank you. And here's my wife giving her sense on Marcos. Marcos is number one pizza from my hometown, Oregon, Ohio. Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is. If you're in Colorado or Texas, Laredo Taco. You know, you are not the first person to tell me that. Next time I see those Laredo tacos, they're actually in Florida now too at some of the 7-Elevens. I'm going to try the Laredo tacos. Last time I was going to try it, they were closed. It was late at night. I do a lot of nighttime driving, guys, and you know, I can't. Traffic has just gotten so bad in the last 4 or 5 years. I bet I do 80% of my driving at night because I just can't deal with the traffic. And that's one of the things I was going to tell you, A-Bear. If you can do some nighttime driving, the camera issues will 99% go away because there's nobody to set the cameras off.
Early morning driving.
Yeah, that Texas Laredo taco, man, I want to try that out. Yeah, I'm not a sombrero fan anymore. You just got the wrong Marcos, A-Bear. Marcos isn't greasy at all. You just went to the wrong one, I guess. So Laredo tacos are awesome. Buddy, you got me hungry for tacos now. I'm gonna have to try them. Yeah, it's hard to get that type of food driving. Yeah, it is. It's really hard. I mean, you only have a few choices.
Yeah.
My wife is an avid. She loves Mexican food, and I've told her 1,000 times that if you were ever to go out on the road with me and we were to go to Texas, I mean, they have Texas food trucks everywhere at all the truck stops. They got Mexican restaurants and all the truck stops. She'd go crazy over all the Mexican food. Only thing at night is accidents, because at night it's always the accidents where you sit for a long. Yeah, I ran into one of those too, but you just got to keep an eye. You know, what I do is I run my Garmin, and then if I could ever find me a truck GPS that ran current traffic, and I'm still looking for one that has current traffic, but I run my Apple Maps at the same time, and that way I can see traffic ahead of time in real time. Anybody knows the GPS out there that has real-time traffic, let me know. I'll buy it. My poor trainer Schneider was an ex-Marine, dark-skinned until we went down Cabbage with no Jake. My first time, he turned Irish white by the bottom. The drum were glowing, basically. So, poor guy. Yeah. If you get the brakes where they're orange like that, man, that's not good. Surprised they don't crack.
Yeah, that's a bad situation there.
I still see his eyes. Is he had the remember back in the day the Pee Wee Herman? You remember Large Marge? Remember her eyes when they got real big? Y'all remember that? Did y'all see
a little bit.
Large Marge's eyes went real big? Anyway, you guys aren't movie guys like I am. I am an early riser, so my start days will be around 3 a.m. Yeah, that's kind of what I do. I start anywhere between midnight and 4 a.m. usually. And if you do that and you stay consistent with that as much as you can, you shouldn't have any problems finding parking, around 2 or 3 in the afternoon when you're trying to park.
Yeah.
It says Garmin died current traffic. Mine does. Garmin did. Okay. I don't. Man, Dan, you're going to have to call me tomorrow, and I'm going to have to see about that because I don't know anything about that.
Garmin.
3 a.m. is good. Yeah, 3 a.m. is good. That's a good time to start. Black Smoke Mafia just had my dash cam taken out today in Decatur. Yep, that's freaking awesome, dude. You got your own insurance and had the dash cam taken out. That's awesome. Man, Newman Attack says, my Garmin diesel runs traffic. Have to keep it connected to the internet. Yeah, I've got mine connected to the internet too, but it doesn't give me live traffic. I might have to get a newer one. The drums look like that. That's where your journey is. Absolutely, man. There's no breaks.
Yeah.
No breaks. I used to start around 10, 11 p.m. and be done around 8 or 9. It just depends. Guys, I mean, I try to run nights as much as I can, but I'm the guy that literally takes my 10-hour break and I roll on out. 10-hour break, roll on out. It don't matter. I run whatever load I have. Man. Never in my right mind would have thought we would go 2 hours tonight on a live. Never thought that. Been a pretty good live tonight, guys. Had a lot of good new people come in. You know, we got A-Bear that came in. We got Fran that showed back up. It's nice having some females come in that have an interest into the thing. Black Smoke Mafia. I don't think I've ever seen you in here either. I'm glad to have you in. Appreciate it. Dan is becoming a regular. Mr. Hunky Dory, I know you've been in a couple times. Mac T's a regular. Rig Pig's a regular. Newman's a regular. Been pretty good, productive night. A-Bear says, I have to go out, get some sleep. Thanks for your help and welcoming atmosphere. Call soon. Yeah, call anytime, A-Bear. Glad you came in. Appreciate it. Get your guys to subscribe. Oh, my God, I just noticed your hat. What about my hat? You know what team that is? If you can tell me what team that is, I would be surprised. That's my hometown, by the way. I've been waiting for a shower for almost 2 hours now. I remember when the lines used to be 1 to 3 people. Yeah, especially Loves. Loves are the ones you always have to wait at. So he guessed it. I've watched, just not made any comments till now. Loserville. Yeah, you must be a Kentucky person. UK. So the only problem is with UK, they only print your hats in the wrong color. They should be in red, not blue. Loserville. I got you, buddy. Yeah, you know, Kentucky and Louisville has always had a great rivalry.
Oh, shit.
What happened? Dropped your phone?
Oh, I had to. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you were born and raised in Shively. Well, I'll tell you something even more to that. I was a Jefferson County deputy sheriff, and I don't know how old you are, but I was a deputy sheriff under Sheriff Green, and there's not a lot of people that can say that. If you know who he is. Let's go Tar Heels, says Mr. Hunky Dory. Yes, you're a Kentucky fan. You know, it's funny. Most people that live in Louisville are Kentucky fans. Never understood that. So you're 44. You might have remembered Sheriff Green. I worked under Green, Vaughn, and Aubrey. Aubrey was the sheriff when I left back in 02 actually. Yeah, I worked that job for quite a few years. A flatbedder is about to back up. Uh-oh. Yeah, you got to be careful of the flatbedders. The ones you really got to worry about are the super ego guys. But Black Smoke Mafia, I can tell you all kinds of things about Shively. The guy, one of the guys I worked with in Shively was the chief for a long time there. Love showers or cleaners, in my opinion, absolutely. Yeah, so you remember Sheriff Aubrey. Aubrey was a Louisville police officer when it was still Louisville Police back in the day. And he won sheriff. God, what year was that? I think that was 02 when he won, if I'm not mistaken. No, you know what? I think it was 2000 when he won. 2000, 2001, something like that. But yeah, I worked under Aubrey. He was a great sheriff. Great sheriff. Still there, as far as I know. Still doing it. And shit, he had 35 years with Louisville Police Department before he even started and won the sheriff's election. So he's got at least another 30 years. Is that right? 27, 28 years. Wow. Can you imagine working for a police department and working in law enforcement for 60 plus years? Yeah, that's got to be right. 60. He's got to be in his 80s. Got to be. Damn. Where does this time go when you really sit down and you think about this shit? I've been out of law enforcement for 20 years already. Newman Attack says it's cute how Gary thinks showers are different because of the the chain. They're all dirty. Yeah, they are all dirty. Raised over Ralph Avenue. Yeah, you're over by Mother's Cookies. If anybody knows what Mother's Cookies is, they cook all of the little Girl Scout cookies for the whole nation. They're in Shively, Kentucky, right off of Ralph Avenue. I'm sure he knows about them. So you live in Somerset now. Somerset's a nice place to get away from the madness. Louisville's really went down, just like all major cities. They've all became really, really liberal, and they hate everything. It doesn't matter. A lot of crime, a lot of stupid shit. I think Somerset's a good place. I don't know anything about Somerset, but I've been to it many times, but I don't know anything about their demographics. Newman always has some funny stuff. Took a shower at the Loves in Mount Vernon, Texas, and still had the last person's shit in the boat.
Oh, man.
Man.
Somebody left you a present.
Hey.
Funny, man. I'm interested to see how the freight will look in Houston for Swift when they finish that terminal. I heard they were building a terminal. If they're building a terminal, there's a reason why they're building a terminal. I can tell you that because they built a terminal. Mike can attest to this. They built a terminal in Mobile, Alabama. What a nice terminal that is. It's small, but it's nice. But they've got a lot of freight.
Yeah, it's real nice.
Well, they building one in Statesboro too.
Statesboro? Yeah, I heard that. I'm gonna go check.
Yeah, they building one in Statesboro too. It's probably gonna be about the size of the one in Mobile. It's gonna be about the same size.
I hate that Loves in Mount Vernon, tiny fuel island. Remember? So when's Statesboro supposed to be done?
I don't even know if they broke ground yet. I know they got the parking lot done, but I don't know if they done broke ground yet on it. I ain't heard nothing about it.
Did you know they have a terminal in Statesville, North Carolina? Did you know they had a terminal there?
In Statesville?
Yeah, just north of Charlotte. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know where that's at. I'll stay like probably about a good 2.5 hours from there.
Buddy, I had no clue they had one there. I didn't even know it.
Must be a drop yard or something.
Yeah, I think it's just a drop yard. But they're building a terminal from what I hear there.
Man, I ain't know that.
No way becoming a sheriff or HP in Pasco County, Florida, or the state of Florida. People are nuts anymore with 1% of law enforcement making it bad for the other 99%. So no way becoming a sheriff. So Mr. Hunky Dory, me and my wife, I don't know if she's still on here, but we actually worked in Pinellas County, and we worked for a city that no longer has a police department, St. Pete Beach. And I can honestly say that I was actually a beach cop for a short period of time, and so was she. And that's where we met. Now, again, that's been 20 plus years ago, but they did away with their police department in 2012. Loved it there. Absolutely loved it. Newman Attack says, Mac, it was just rebuilt. Oh, he's talking about the Loves. And I like the fact of how many terminals Swift has. 20. No, they've got 42 from what I heard. Yeah, 42, I believe. By the way, guys, I try to promote Swift as much as I can, but tomorrow at 7 p.m., Swift is going to have a live, and it's going to be the vice president, and I don't know who the second person is going to be, but they're going to be talking about the load board and also the 70% stuff live tomorrow night at 7. You might want to catch that. A lot of the guys ask questions about it and stuff. That's going to be where you're going to go in and ask a bunch of questions. I just happened to notice that the other day. I put my notification on that. So check that out, guys, and maybe we can get some answers or some questions answered, actually, because I've got some questions, too. I'm going to try and check it if I can tomorrow. Just depends on what's going on. I'm going to try and go home, spend some time with the wife and the daughter. I got to. But go on there and ask questions, guys, please. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it. Mac T, good. I don't know why they had to drive through the next to the fuel line. Cars get their food and they wait for the driver first pump that. And with that too,
Right.
The thing that I hate about these truck stops, especially Loves is doing it more than the other ones are. They're catering to the four-wheelers more than they are to the truck drivers. They're forgetting why they're there. They're catering to the RVs. A lot of them are bringing in these RV parks and, all this bullshit. And, it's getting old because They take up, because when you go in and you need to get some food, you're blocking the fuel island. It might take you 20, 30 minutes to get your freaking food because you got, mommy and granny and everybody in their fucking minivans that are in front of you getting their RVs and shit when you need to get the fuck out of there. And that's the whole purpose of a truck stop, is because that's the only places we can go to where they can go to other places, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. They don't have real truck stops anymore. They're all dying. Do they do a driving test for owner ops? All right, so without incriminating anybody, they're supposed to. Now, I'm not saying that they do or they don't, but they're supposed to. Again, I'm not going any further with that question. I don't know about you, James, if you want to.
They have to document it.
Yeah.
A
There
drive test.
That's a good answer. They have to document it. I hope that answers your question. Anime Demon says, what is the pay week cutoff? All right, so that's the multi-million-dollar question. And I'm going to explain it to you the best way that I possibly can that payroll told me. My son's texting me pictures of his baby. Officially, Tuesday, 3 p.m. Arizona time is the payroll cutoff. Now, with that being said, big customers, Walmart, Target, anything that's a prepaid customer, which is almost everything that Swift has, you can go all the way till midnight Wednesday. I hope that answers your question. And fuel is always going to be attached to whatever load you have. So if you fill up, then it's going to be attached to that load you're on. So only put enough fuel in your truck on Tuesdays and Wednesdays to get you to where you need to go. I'm so far behind on these comments. Newman Attack says he's going to troll the Swift Live. I don't give a fuck. You go right ahead if you want to. Palm Harbor on Tarpon Springs City Line and Lake Tarpon. Palm Harbor has no local Swift. Has no local. Now Sheriff took over 10 years ago. Yeah, I remember that. I lived in Palm Harbor. I don't think Palm Harbor ever had a police department. Tarpon Springs had a police department, so they no longer have a police department either, huh? But Palm Harbor never had a police department, to my knowledge. Now Dunedin had a police department up until the early 2000s, but they did away with theirs too. A lot of the agency, because I don't know if you know this or not, but I think there was like 50 police agencies in Pinellas County, and Pinellas County is one of the smallest land masses of Florida, but it's one of the most heavily populated because of the beaches. If you guys know what Pinellas County is, you know where Tampa is, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know the little outclave? That's Pinellas County. That's where St. Petersburg is. So you got Clearwater, you got St. Petersburg, you got all these other little cities that are in there too. Tarpon Springs, Largo. Pinellas has when I was there was over 1 million people that lived on that. It's not really an island. It's more of it hangs out over the bay or whatever. But anyways, very populated area. I guess that's where you live at. I've been driving since I was 21. Always made fun of Swift and came over here on a dare, but glad I did. All that, it's not all that bad once you get your own fuel card and insurance. Absolutely, and that's kind of what I did too. I laughed when a buddy of mine told me to come over here, and it's Trucker Todd too. It was told me to come over here and try it out, and I did it. And I really, other than leaving 3 times and back for the 4th, I really haven't looked back. But I have looked back, I guess. But anyway, I'm happy with it. Matt T says, "Yep." Also, there's nothing more discouraging than running your 14 down, and you get to a truck stop, and it has the truck parking club signs everywhere. Yeah. I don't mind that truck parking club. I'm probably going to use them this weekend, actually. Black Smoke Mafia. Can't wait till that load board gets better. I was leased to Landstar, loving booking my own loads. I agree with you. I like that load board too. Absolutely. Alex, Trucker Todd was talking some not very good things about you, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm not going back and forth with this drama shit, Alex. And I watched Trucker Todd's video, and what he said wasn't bad. I'm not going back and forth with this bullshit. Enough is enough. You know, you guys, and again, I'm not saying you're doing it, Alex, but you guys are coming on my channel. You're going on his channel saying we're talking about each other. I'm not going back and forth with this bullshit. I'm not doing it. So let that die right here, right now. He didn't say anything bad about me. He was trying to say you only went Swift for referral. Again, not denying that. That had a lot to do with my decision. You know, he was right. He didn't say anything bad about me. Mac T, I feel Trucker Todd is being given misinformation about Rabbit, just what it looks like to me. Maybe so. And again, it's people causing drama. You know, this shit happened with him and Trucker's Coach when Trucker's Coach was over here. And it just, I'm not doing it, guys. You know, I'm just not doing it. Anthony says, laughing my ass off, Flab Rabbit said troll. I don't give a fuck. All right. Well, good deal, Anthony. Appreciate it. Oh my God, Swift was at 52, then 55, then 62, then 65. Schneider was 55 for a time. My first 6. Yeah. Well, if you're an owner operator, you go up to 70. Newman Attack says, I started using Truck Parking Club because Pilot and TA don't enforce their parking and leave you hang out to dry. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. You guys that troll these channels and pit drivers against each other, I don't know why you guys waste your time. You're grown men. Go do other bullshit. I mean, you act like a bunch of fucking women, man. Am I right, guys?
Yeah. Instead of giving positive information, they worry about what somebody else said.
You know, guys, please, by all means, this goes to you, Anthony and Alex. If you guys are subscribed to my channel, unsubscribe right now. I don't need your shit on this channel, and I'm not saying it again.
Yeah, we're just here to make money and save money.
That's right. Take the high road. Don't be a jerk off like Poppy. Yeah. Poppy's, P-U-S-S-Y, is it hurting right now? I don't want to say it again because I hate that fucking word. But, oh, man. The reason you watch YouTube and not comment a lot, I hate drama. Yeah, absolutely, buddy. I'm not doing that drama shit. You know, they were trying to pit me and Trucker Todd against each other. And then, you know, they were trying to do it with other YouTubers. Not going to mention any other names because I don't want to bring this shit up. And it's not going to work. I'm not getting involved in that shit. I'm not going to do it. Not bringing anybody's name. Alex, I appreciate you like watching me, man, but do me a favor. If you're true and to yourself, don't start the drama. You know, I could care less what Todd says about it. He can keep on with the drama all he wants to. I'm not going to address any of the shit. You know, Todd's a good friend. He has always been a good friend. I've got nothing bad to say about Todd. Unfortunately, you know, we're at separate paths in our life, and you know, he doesn't want to talk to me. That's fine. It's no big deal. You know, Todd is one of the reasons why I'm where I'm at and why I've been so successful. I've always said that, and I've always given him kudos. I mean, you guys can go and watch my video I did last night or this morning. I talked about Todd in the video, you know, about the ES Advantage card. I'm trying not to steal anybody's thunder. You know, I'm not going to do the drama shit. You should go live with Trucker Todd and clear things up. You guys both put out good. You know, P.U. Patel, I have tried to contact Trucker Todd several times in the last couple of weeks with no availability. Again, I'm not here to do any drama. I've tried to present my case with Todd, and it's up to him from here. I've tried to make that contact, and if he wants to do a live with me, I'll do a live with him. I've got nothing bad to say about Todd. We do put out good information. I'm not fighting with Trucker Todd. There's certain things that me and Todd have talked about, and there's certain things that he does that I don't appreciate. But again, that's between me and him. It has nothing to do with anybody else. He knows what he does, and I consider him a good friend. And P.U. Patel, I know you're not trolling. I know you're honest about it. Because I know you go to both channels, and I know you found me through Trucker Todd, obviously. So. Appreciate it, Alex. I didn't mean to go off on you, but I'm done with the drama stuff. There's other guys that get on here and do worse stuff than that. You really didn't say anything bad. Well, guys, we're at 2.5 hours. If you guys got anything else to talk about, let's get it out. I'm going to hit the sack because I got to get some sleep. It is 9:30. We're at 2.5 hours, man. Great live tonight. We appreciate you guys coming out. By the way, how's my volume? Is my volume good?
Oh yeah, you're walking good.
Yeah,
I
sounds good.
I went back to my old school setup to where I put my microphone out rather than wearing a headset, and I've got my speaker set up to my truck stereo so I can hear you guys. So I got a couple more comments here. Let's see. Mac T says, "Yeah, that's why I don't watch channels like Narc. Those guys are nothing without drama." And yeah, I saw Narc's channel. I can't remember who commented. It might have been you, Mac T. Somebody commented on Narc's channel that he did a live about me. Couldn't even get my name right, which is fine. I don't care. I'm not into the drama shit. The shit that he said really didn't really affect me as much as it did somebody else. But again, I'm not into that. Kingsway Trading and Trucking Tip. Fly Rabbit, keep up the great work. Hey, I appreciate it. I try to be honest with everybody as much as I can. Is Swift a good place for everybody? Absolutely not. Is Swift a perfect company? No. I've told you guys the garbage that Swift does. I've told you all the negative shit that Swift does. But at the same time, I've told you all the positive and the good things. Overall, Swift is a great company, but it's not perfect. Nothing is perfect. No lease is perfect. But when it comes down to Swift's lease, I think their lease is probably the best, in my opinion. I've done all the leases. I should know. Let's see here. Where was I at? We got a bunch of comments here. Let me read them out. Alex, but didn't you say yourself he made troll accounts to say? I did say that. Absolutely. But I can't prove it. And do I think it? I'm about 50-50 on it, to be flat honest with you. But again, my 50% side that says he didn't, Todd doesn't have a lot of time to do that shit. So the only thing is there was a lot of personal information that was said in that a lot of people don't know about me, and that's the only reason that I had the feeling that maybe he did. But again, you're starting the drama stuff again is what you're doing, Alex, and I don't want to go there. We've already talked about that. Michelle is a doll. Okay. I'm sure she would like to hear that. I try to keep those things to ourselves, but Newman Attack, that's what old people do. They sleep. Yeah. That's what I'm getting ready to do. If she was a lot lizard, that's worth it. Alex, why are you know what? That's it. All right. I should have known better. Sorry, Alex. I'm not taking that shit. You're out of here. Nah, I'm going to get out. By the time my shower's ready, your 10 will probably be up. Yeah, probably. Ain't that the truth? Mac T, you need to give me a call sometime. Yeah. I think me and you would have some great conversations together, man. Freeway Rick, what is your opinion on running Super Solo? As a team, Super Solo, I mean, that's just Super Solo has to work for the driver and your co-driver. I mean, it just depends on what kind of money you want to make. Me, when I go out, I want to run, make as much money as I can. So Super Solo, running with another, I would never do it anyways. But if I did, I wouldn't run Super Solo. We'd be working equally if it was a team. Good talking to y'all. Maybe I'll see you out here soon. We can talk in Louisville and Clearwater Beach. My parents owned a house down there as well. Later, Gator. Hey, have a good one. But I'm not a Gator, by the way, nor am I Seminole. Not either. But I am a Florida resident. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Absolutely. Thank you, Mac T. I watch multiple podcasts. I have sit-down computer job billing customers. I listen, do all my work, keep from falling asleep, and keep up with the trucking needs. Okay. You can always check on my show. I try to come in, Thursdays at 7 p.m. I'm only doing Wednesday this week because I'm going home. And last comment that I'm going to read, Newman Attack says, Alex must be one of those jackoffs too. Well, won't know now because he's blocked from the channel. At least I think he is. We'll see. All right, guys. You guys got any last things?
Nah, I ain't got nothing.
Nah, we're good.
Rabbit is a mic hog. Yeah, there's no denying that. I am a mic hog. It's my show. Oh my God, man. Another troll here. Oh man. If you guys got anything, we'll say it, and if not, we'll go ahead and cut her down.
Now we're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good
Gotta
job.
go find out.
Well, thanks for
Gotta go
coming
find
in,
out
guys.
what these kids at.
Gonna find out what?
So I gotta go find out where my nieces went. They somewhere around here.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. Thanks for coming in, James. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Jonah, until next time. I'll talk to you guys.
All right. Yep. All right.
Later,
Have a good one.
guys. James, what time are
Yeah.
you driving tonight?
I'll probably not start until 5 or 6.
Okay. Give me a holler when you get rolling, bud. I'll be rolling.
Okay. Yep.
Later, guys.
All right, now.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.